Wolves Nation, please welcome the ice, everybody's best friend, his favorite partner, ladies and gentlemen, Clower! Wolves Nation, welcome to tonight's game against the IceDogs. The OHL community is mourning the loss of a longtime commissioner, Mr. David Branch, who passed away on January 4th at the age of 77. His leadership of the OHL spanned 45 seasons, and his accomplishments and contributions to both the league and also the game of hockey are too numerous to list. Considered one of the great builders in hockey history, David was an advocate for the players first and foremost, and it gave him great pleasure to see young players pursue their goals. He was a pioneer in prioritizing player welfare, championing initiatives that addressed player safety, mental health support, and educational advancement. His dedicated service to the OHL and his community will be greatly missed. David is survived by his sons, Barclay, Kyle, and Wade, their mother, Charlene, his partner, Patsy, his stepchildren, Brent and Brenna, as well as his grandchildren. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise if you are able and observe a moment of silence in remembrance and respect. We now ask that you please remain standing if you are able and remove your hats in honor of the Canadian National Anthem, sung by Mr. John Falsman.
O Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in all of us command. Car ton roi c'est ton épopée, il s'est porté la croix. Ton histoire est une épopée des plus brillants exploits. God keep our land glorious and free. Oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Somebody give me a
Hello and welcome inside the Sudbury Community Arena. David Bowen and Rick Wyman here with you as always on SudburyWolves.com. And Rick, before we get into tonight's matchup, a lot has changed since the last time me and you shared the headsets here at the Sudbury Community Arena. The OHL trade deadline has come and passed, but not at a cost for the Sudbury Wolves. Alex Ferrand and Nathan Villeneuve dealt to the Windsor Spitfires, and just as of today, Kieran Walton finalized his deal with the Peterborough Petes. So Rick, I ask you, we've got some new players in the lineup, obviously a younger Sudbury Wolves team. What are you looking forward to in the second half?
Well, David, you know the old expression, I'm sure your father probably heard it many times, you can't tell a player without a program. And of course, lineup sheets are probably going through the roof tonight because people want to know who's playing and where. Okay, so you managed to get rid of a couple of veterans that were certainly doing the bulk of the scoring. Kieran Walton, Nathan Villeneuve, and Ferrand's been playing really good hockey in the last 4 to 6 weeks. So you're banking on the future. You've got some draft picks now. You've restocked the bank from last year, and now you've got some new faces. So pressure's on the new faces to deliver, but you've got time to impress and start thinking ahead to next year.
Here we go. Wolves and IceDogs are underway. Some of those new faces on the ice together already, and Adam Nemitz and J.C. Lemieux as the puck is dumped into the Wolves zone. Alexander Hage works it to the blue line. It comes near side here for Haoshi Wang. He sends it in behind the goal. Ethan Zada picks it up for Niagara. Now Hage with it. Hage gets it to the point. Swinging it across is Reisnecker, and now a shot from Wang is blocked by the Wolves. Artem Gonchar is able to scoop it ahead. Here's Lemieux. He's got Henderson up ice, but the pass was just over his stick. Henderson gets to it first. Trying to get around the checking of Zada, but that's knocked away. And the IceDogs will control behind their own goal. So we already saw Adam Nemitz and J.C. Lemieux. They already scored goals for the Wolves on the road against the Sioux a couple nights ago. And Jens Ula now out on the ice for the Wolves. He was acquired in that trade that saw Kieran Walton head to Peterborough. Here's Rowan Henderson up ice. Henderson over the blue line. Henderson looking for Ethan Dean in front. That pass was knocked away. Now trying to clear are the IceDogs. Good forecheck by Dean, and now it gets sent the length of the ice by Jakub Kromiak, who is a new IceDog, and we get a whistle.
Will this team make the playoffs, the Sudbury Wolves? Sure they can. They've already got one team out of contention in Oshawa, so forget about Oshawa. Now they've got to battle Brampton and maybe a few other teams, but there's enough capability in this lineup to be able to do something. So as we look ahead to next year and the potential with the draft picks and who's coming to camp, there's also the possibility that maybe the Wolves can get into a postseason berth and have a couple of playoff games here.
Here's a highly touted prospect, Ryan Robrick, with the puck for Niagara. His pass up ice was taken away by Carter Kostic. The Wolves will regroup in their own zone. Here's Trevor Odell. He'll get the red line and dump it in. That was gloved by Yermolenko, and he almost gave it away. Kostic had it behind the goal for a moment. Now helping out here is Riley Patterson for Niagara. He gets it onto the stick of Robrick. Robrick over to Jakub Kromiak. Kromiak looking for a man to give it to. He sends it D to D here to Liam Spencer. Pass up ice from Spencer, connected with Robrick, but good back check there from Henderson, and the Wolves will take it up ice. Here's Coughlin over the line. He tried to feather it to Henderson in front. That was taken away and sent the length of the ice once again by Niagara.
We talked about, Henderson and Coughlin and some of the veterans that have been around for a couple of years. I look for Rowan Henderson to step up and become the leader on this Sudbury Wolves Hockey Club. He has shown me a lot in well over a year and a half since he became a member, and he's stepping it up this year. So now, doors wide open. The opportunity is his.
Face off in the IceDogs zone. Henderson will scoop it up. Tried to send it to the blue line. That goes off a skate into the corner. Berhowski on the forecheck. Gets played over to Sebastian Delelchi. He's trying to chip it up the wall for Niagara. Good job by Provorov to cut him off. And now a board battle. Henderson's trying to dig it free. Lots of more opportunity for plenty of these Sudbury Wolves in the lineup. I agree, Rick. Rowan Henderson has been one heck of a find from the U18 draft. Trying to get drafted this year to the NHL as Berhowski let a shot go. That goes off the boards. It caroms all the way back into the Wolves zone. Here's Luca Blonda with it in his own zone for Sudbury. Blonda looking for Brady Smith. He will tap it up ice. Berhowski does a nice job to get control. Shot over the line. That's blockered away there by Yermolenko. Puck goes into the corner. Vladimir Provorov trying to find it along with Berhowski. He threw it in front, but that's cleared to safety by Grayson Tiller. Berhowski back onto it. He'll work it to the blue line. Here's Brady Smith across. Berhowski shooting. That goes off a stick and wide. That'll allow Niagara to bring it up ice here with Noah Reed. Lost it in the neutral zone, and now he'll get some help here from Hull. Hull with a pass up ice. Here's Galyanov. He has it taken away by Brady Smith. It comes out into the neutral zone, and now Wang will fire it right back in. Hudson Martin on it for the Wolves. Wolves going with 7 defensemen and just 10 forwards here tonight, or 11 forwards, pardon me. Pass up ice goes off the stick of J.C. Lemieux. Yermolenko out to play it. You'll rim it up the boards, and it'll work its way out into the neutral zone. Trevor Odell will fire it back in. Adam Nemitz was looking for it, but it rolls back out into the neutral zone. Trevor Odell back onto it. Odell bounces it off the wall and in, but Wang is there for Niagara. He'll play it off the boards behind his net here to Ben Reisnecker, and he'll chip it out into the neutral zone. Once again, the Wolves are there to dump it back in. Some tired guys. The Wolves will make a change. Niagara with time in their own zone.
And if people are experiencing or expecting more so miracles from some of the newcomers, give it time. It's going to take a couple of games for everyone to adjust to each other.
So we get an offside call here at the Wolves blue line. Some pushing and shoving going on with Blake Clayton and Haoshi Wang.
Wang's huge. He's a big guy, and of course, not afraid to back off. But of course, getting back to that point about getting accustomed to newer players in the lineup with Lemieux and Nemitz as well. And of course, you've got Ula on defense. You just can't step on the ice and expect to be able to work into the system after a period or two. It takes a couple of practices, a couple of game situations before you start to identify and acknowledge and work in tandem with your teammates.
I should update as well. Wolves defenseman Liam Lads left the game in the Sioux with a shoulder injury, and his return is not too likely for the rest of the year. So some chances for some of the younger defensemen as Gavin Yules lets a shot go. The rebound's in front, and a big save made there by Yermolenko on Kostic. First real good look at the game for either team as Reed brings it up ice for Niagara. He'll chip it in. He'll find it behind the goal, plays it into the far corner. It rolled by Zada. Gavin Yules will kick it ahead to Coughlin. Coughlin trying to bank it ahead for Kostic. Kromiak does a nice job to take that away. Away goes Ethan Zada up ice for Niagara. He's trying to split the D, but Yules knocks him down, and the puck rolls right to Paulo Frasca. He'll hold for a whistle.
And of course, Niagara doing a good job of taking away their own blue line and forcing the play on the Sudbury Wolves. If it's not working, if you can't take the puck across the line, dump and chase if you have to, but start putting some pressure. But Yarmolenko making a big save, the toughest one of this period here early in the game after almost 5 minutes at the Sudbury Community Arena. Friday night hockey and a good crowd on hand.
Should mention it's also country night here at the Sudbury Community Arena. Shot coming from Robrick here gets tipped wide of the goal, and I think the first 1,000 fans or so received a cowboy hat. How about Carson Chartier spotting it on the Wolves bench right now? That's a different look for a backup goaltender.
Hey, why not?
Why not? Here's Jens Ula disrupting things for the Wolves at the Wolves blue line, and now we'll settle things down, play it back to Trevor Odell. Trevor Odell skating with it up ice. He'll get the blue line and chip it in behind Yarmolenko. Delelchi there for Niagara. He'll rim it up the boards here to Robrick. Robrick with a nice play. He feeds it back behind his own goal for Grayson Tiller. Almost 6 minutes gone by here in period number 1 between the Wolves and the IceDogs. We're still scoreless. Sudbury with 3 shots on goal to Niagara's 1. Here's Grayson Tiller. He'll get the red line and fire it in. Rolls into the opposite corner. Ula's able to chip it ahead to Adam Nemitz. Nemitz will now circle back in the Wolves zone. As Niagara's completing a change. Nemitz left it for Odell. Odell up ice to Jan Hovan. Hovan over the line with his World Junior teammate in front. Nemitz, he got a shot on goal. That was kicked away by Yarmolenko. Picked up now by Ryerson Edgar. Up ice to Haoshi Yang. He'll dump it in. It's a delayed offside here against Niagara as Wang kind of mishandled it. That'll allow Adam Nemitz to skate it up ice for Sudbury. He'll get the red line and float it in. Bouncing in behind Yarmolenko. Wang will pick it up. He'll rim it up the near boards. Hull will tip it ahead. Edgar will chip it to center. Bouncing puck here. Hull's able to bring it over the Wolves line. Edgar now trying to find it in behind the goal line. Edgar digs it free. Battling with Luca Blonda. Working his way up the half wall. He'll cycle it down low. Now a pass up to the point. Wang swings it across. That missed the stick of Reisnecker, and it's going to allow Blonda to bring it up ice, but he's all by himself. He'll just get it over the Niagara line as Sudbury completes a change. Slow first period so far, Rick.
Yeah, kind of passive on behalf of the IceDogs, and the Wolves trying to get something going here, but they keep on getting stopped at the Niagara blue line.
Galyanov dumps it in for Niagara. Yules will rim it around the boards. It was kept in by Monks for Niagara. Sudbury back onto it. Gonchar over to Yules, up the far boards. Provorov couldn't tap it by Chromiak. Chromiak walking in. He'll send it to the high circle. Now down low. A centering pass from Galyanov. Missed Hage in front. Spencer tried to find Chromiak near the blue line. Galyanov does well to keep it in for Niagara. Gonchar, though, onto it for the Wolves. Over to Gavin Yules. Long pass up ice. Goes off the stick of Spencer into the Niagara zone. Chromiak gets it over to Spencer. Spencer on the wing for Ray Smith. His pass kind of handcuffed Galyanov. Now Coughlin trying to keep it in. Chromiak picks it up for Niagara. Up on the wing, and now Galyanov will get some help to get it out of his zone. It's now dumped in by Monks. It's all 5 IceDogs head to the bench. Time for Gavin Yules behind the Wolves' net. He'll feed it up to Rowan Henderson. Henderson will attack up ice. He'll chip it in over the line. That's knocked out by the IceDogs. Maybe a 3-on-2 the other way. Here's Zada driving wide on Ula. He'll stop up. Good back check from Henderson. Knocked it away, but now Zada gets it right back. Zada, a little curl and drag move, but that shot was blocked in front. Nice play by Brady Smith to move it up ice, but once again, IceDogs are there to cut off the wall and dump it right back in. Now Ula gets taken down behind the Wolves net, but no call. Blake Clayton will pick it up. Ahead for Ethan Dean. Dean will fire it into the far corner. Henderson on the forecheck. Tiller was there. Henderson tries to center. It comes into the slot area, but it's going to be picked up here by Niagara's Hayden Reed. He'll get it up ice and chip it in. Grayson Tiller, lone IceDog on the forecheck here. Clayton finds it for the Wolves, works it up the wall. Nemitz is able to get it up ice for Ethan Dean. Dean will dump it in and head for a change. Aoshi Wang there for Niagara. Gets it over to Riley Patterson. Patterson loses it in the neutral zone. Here's J.C. Lemieux over the line. He collides there with Reisnecker. Reisnecker takes the puck away from Lemieux. Reisnecker, long pass up ice, goes off of Hudson Martin and bounces into the Wolves zone. Blonda now has it over for Martin. Martin cross ice feed. Nice one-touch pass by Nemitz to Jan Hovan. Hovan up ice to Lemieux. Getting it in front for Nemitz, but couldn't quite handle that saucer pass. Niagara works it up the wall. Lemieux keeps it in. His long shot goes well wide. Blonda's there to follow up. He'll chip it below the goal line. Wolves completing a change. Time for Reisnecker. He'll move it ahead to Patterson as we're past the midway point of period one now. Still scoreless.
And we haven't had a shot on goal in the last couple of minutes either. It's still 4-1 in favor of Sudbury.
It's been a lot of dump and not enough chase for both teams so far. Here's another one as Reed will dump it in for Niagara. Frasca out of the goal. He gave it away in a sharp angle try there from Niagara's Chase Hull is stopped by Frasca. He'll hold for a whistle.
Well, this game at this rate, David, is not going to be one of the TSN classics in terms of future watch, a must-watch game, but I'm sure it'll start to pick up. But like I said earlier, takes a while to get acquainted to the systems and to the players, and like a lot of people buzzing about some of the new players, especially Lemieux coming off his one-goal performance against the Greyhounds on Wednesday night in a losing cause. But again, they want to see him, but you're not going to see the sparks fly immediately. It takes time in terms of the transition. I mean, you know that. You just can't step into a lineup on the ice and get things going right away unless there's a total collapse on behalf of the opposition. But it'll take time. Might take a couple of games by next weekend, and we'll have to see. But practice is certainly first and foremost, where you got to get used to the offensive and defensive drills and the systems. And in some cases, players have got to catch on because you're coming into foreign territory.
Yep. Well, this IceDogs team, a good team to kind of get your feet wet with, but Sunday afternoon will be a different story. As the Ottawa 67s will roll into town, and they're definitely a team that went all in and is looking to make a deep run.
And they're burning after last night's loss against North Bay. They're in the Sioux this evening, so we'll see if
North Bay made some quiet additions as well. Not quite all in, but they made some decent pickups as well. So we're back to action. First TV timeout over now. Wolves get it out after a D-zone face-off win, but Chromiak races onto it in his own zone for Niagara. Chromiak leaves it for Delelchi. Delelchi up on the wing for Edgar. He's able to chip it by Braden Bennett. He's over the line with speed. Rolls into the corner. Gonchar tied him up. It's in behind the Wolves' goal now. Braden Bennett jousting for it along with Gavin Ewells. Hull is there for Niagara. He'll pick up the puck. He's got it in the near corner. Now takes it behind the net once again. Far corner. Hull up near the blue line now. Spins one towards goal. That's blocked by Gavin Ewells. It'll be a souvenir for row 4 in the Wolves zone in the far corner.
So you take a look at Niagara's situation in the league right now, and I still think that that's a catchable team. Brampton as well. So again, there are endless possibilities for the Sudbury Wolves in terms of a playoff berth. And
the Eastern
once you
Conference
get in,
is not as good as the Western Conference in terms of teams that bought at the OHL trade deadline.
No, right now the Wolves are tied with Brampton for the last playoff spot. But again, you've got Kingston 11 points ahead, and so or 9 points ahead, and so is Niagara. So anything's possible for the Wolves.
Off a D-zone face-off, Henderson will scoop it up. He'll race it up ice. Rowan Henderson driving wide, trying to take it to the net, but it rolls to goaltender Yermolenko, and he'll hold for a whistle. Now you look around the rest of the league. Obviously, Brantford Bulldogs seem to have a stranglehold on the Eastern Conference. Obviously, Peterborough's trying to give them a run. Ottawa as well, they're in the Western Conference, but the Western Conference, you look at Windsor, you look at Kitchener, just a bunch of teams making some moves in the West. So I agree, if you can get on a run where you win 4 or 5 games in a row, you're all of a sudden, you could be leapfrogging 2 or 3 teams in the East.
And that's where that trade for Carter George from Owen Sound to Sault Ste. Marie intrigues me. If they get on a roll with him in goal, a lot could happen in the West.
Off the draw, it went back to Odell. He fires it into the far corner. Clayton and Henderson trying to get to it. Henderson with it now. His centering pass taken away by Gallianoff. Gallianoff chips it to the near corner here for Wang. He'll work it up the wall and out. Trevor Odell there in the neutral zone. He'll feed it back in. Wang there for Niagara. Over to Reisnecker. Pass on the wing and a good check there by Blake Clayton. Knocks over Jacob Monks. dumped into the Wolves zone though. Gallianoff first onto it. He'll play it to the line for Reisnecker. Cross ice for Wang. Wang will send it in behind the net. Bounces into the far corner, a race for it. Henderson's able to chip it up the wall, and O'Dell will skate it up ice. O'Dell gets the red line and dumps it in. Once again, the Wolves making some changes. Wang with it for Niagara. Reverse pass for Reisnecker behind the IceDogs goal. 7:35 remaining in an uneventful opening period so far. We're tied at 0. Pass up ice for the IceDogs. Drew a couple of them offside, and now they'll just dump it in. Frasca leaves it behind the goal. Blonda over for Brady Smith. Now Hovan. Skating with it up ice for Sudbury. Cross to Adam Nemitz. Nemitz cycles for Hovan. It's the Slovakian duo connects. Here's Blonda behind the net. Blonda to the blue line. Here's Brady Smith walking the line. Across to Luca Blonda. He'll cycle it below the goal line. Nemitz trying to get to it along with Hovan. Hovan works it loose. J.C. Lemieux with it now. Over to Nemitz. Nemitz tied up by Zada in the far corner. The puck comes free, and now a chance for Niagara to skate it ahead. It's Jakub Kromiak. Kromiak driving wide on Brady Smith. What a feed in front, and a chance here by Reed is whistled wide of the goal. That's probably the IceDogs' best look at the game so far, and it's not even a shot on goal as Hovan will bring it up ice and dump it in. Kromiak gives it away behind the goal to Berhowski. Tried to find Coughlin in the slot, but that pass went off a stick into the neutral zone. Wolves will dump it back in. Robrick with it. Pass up ice off the stick of Patterson into the Wolves zone, so no icing. Artem Gonchar ahead for Vladimir Provorov. Chips it ahead to Coughlin. Coughlin brings it over the line. Coughlin will feather it in behind the goal. Provorov scoops it up, tried to center. That was knocked down by Tiller. Now Coughlin with it. He'll rim it around the boards. It's going to go well by Gonchar all the way back into the Wolves zone.
2 shots on goal for Niagara so far, and we've got 5:51 to play here in the opening period. Where's the offense unless they left it on the bus?
Here's Vladimir Provorov. He'll get the red line and dump it in. Bouncing puck near the goaltender now in Yermolenko. He'll scoop it up for a whistle. Yeah. If you wanted to see offense, I guess you should come to a Sudbury 5 game, Rick, because this is, we haven't had too much offense yet as we head to our second TV timeout of period number 1.
Well, the 5 back in action tomorrow when they play rival Windsor. Rematch of last year's Basketball Super League final, and J.J. Jackson back in Sudbury, this time back with his familiar team from Windsor. His name's not on the banner. He played about 80% of the season with the 5, but didn't make it around come the end of the playoffs. So, you know, there will be a revenge factor there. And the 5 lost Keyshawn Bryant to the G League. He's gone to Chicago, where it's a lot warmer than it is in Sudbury right now. Huge loss. The guy had 2 30-plus games for the 5, so that's a big hole for coach and general manager Joey Puttester to fill. So he's got some depth on the bench, and we'll see what goes down. Just after 7 tomorrow night, Windsor in town to play the 5.
Face-off coming up in the Niagara zone. Jakub Kromiak, Wolves fans probably recognize that name. He was here in Sudbury the beginning of his career, but now twice in his OHL career, he's found himself as the odd man out in terms of import spots on a lineup. He was with Kitchener, but Kitchener acquired another import player, and once again, he was the odd man out and had to get moved. Here's Jens Ula with a backhander towards goal. That's sticked away by Yermolenko. Now Jan Hovan trying to get it back for Trevor O'Dell. O'Dell does a nice job to keep it in. There's time for Niagara with it behind their net. Haoshi Yang will slow things down. About to hit the 5-minute mark here of period number 1. 5 minutes remaining in the period, no scoring. Here's Edgar up ice across near wing for Hull. His pass goes off a stick into the corner. Hull back onto it. He'll work it to the line. A one-timer by Wang is kicked away by Frasca. Another shot coming by Reisnecker goes high and wide. Wang trying to keep it in. Had it bounce over his stick. Coughlin will run into him in the neutral zone. Edgar's able to find the puck and bring it up ice. He gets taken down at the Wolves line. His bodies are flying around in front of the Wolves bench. Puck is loose. Here's Reed for Niagara. He'll chip it in a little deeper, but once again, Niagara will head to the bench for a change. Here's Jens Ula with it for Sudbury. Pass up ice. Coughlin will tip it in. Kostic on the forecheck, but Chromiak is there. He'll rim it up the boards. It comes out into the neutral zone, and the Wolves are back onto it. Braden Bennett back to Luca Blonda. Now Hudson Martin with it. Over to Blonda, pass on the near wing. Henderson tips it over the line. Now Blonda trying to keep it in, but Niagara will get a firm control of it. Delelchi up on the far wing for Monks. We'll drop it back for Gallion. Brought it back into his own zone and gave it away, and Ethan Dean hit the goalpost.
Wow. Bad break for Dean. Great opportunity there on the miscue. And Dean just rifled it off the post, and the referee, Johnny on the spot, no goal. It's got to cross that line, but we've seen that happen a lot. But
how about the puck just sitting right underneath Yermolenko afterwards as well, Rick?
Comes out to play it, bang, off the post, into his pads.
Thought Ethan Dean had an excellent line on the bus ride to the Sioux the other day. He looked at Rowan Henderson. He said, Hendo, you know I'm a point per game player this year. Hendo said, no, you're not. What do you mean? He said, in 2026. That's how you stay positive if you're someone, not putting up the points maybe that you'd like. Hey, point per game in 2026 is not too bad.
And Dean has stepped up his game so far this year. 2026.
Yes. Dean chipped it over the line, but it's cleared quickly by Niagara. Blonda with it in the neutral zone. Gives it to Rowan Henderson, who will circle back, now head up ice. Pass looking for Clayton was knocked away by Reed, and Reed will chip it into the Wolves zone. Him and Henderson were all tangled up, but no penalty coming here. Giveaway by the Wolves. Tiller keeps it in. Across, and a one-timer is stopped by Frasca. Cleared to the line. Reed will keep it in. Walking the line. Reed will score! A wrister from Hayden Reed. And I don't think Paulo Frasca ever saw it. It whistled over his blocker shoulder and in.
I was about to say that. He dropped to his knees, and that went upstairs. And a couple of players in front, but there was no reaction whatsoever. It just kind of popped in high upstairs, and good goal by Niagara. Their best chance to get something going, and they cash in after Dean almost had Sudbury's first goal of the game.
That's an unfortunate one where, for Frasca, your own teammate is screening you. He doesn't end up blocking it, and it goes by him and then by you and in. The game's first goal goes to Niagara, and feels like a 3-0 deficit, but here goes Jan Hovan the other way, trying to answer back. Hovan shooting, it goes wide of the goal. Gonchar keeps it in. Nemetz handling a bouncing puck down low for Hovan. Hovan leaves it for Nemetz. Nemetz will curl up in the far corner, take it up near the blue line, now cycle down low. Hovan trying to get it over to JC Lemieux. He fanned on that wrister, and that'll allow Robrick to bring it up ice. Robrick tried to get it to Riley Patterson, but that play is offside.
Well, Niagara, oddly enough, just a couple of minutes ago, only had 2 shots on goal. They've got 5. They've got a 1-0 lead in a Friday night game here tonight. Any word on the vibe from the guys on the bus about the trades or any kind of emotion at all on that ride to the Sioux on Wednesday?
I'd say it was a rather quiet ride back home. That game in the Sioux got out of hand quickly. The Wolves were down 4, 9 minutes into the first.
I was shocked when I saw that because I just turned it on, and after all of a sudden, it's like, okay, what happened here? What did I miss?
Yeah, the game was over rather quickly, Rick, unfortunately. As Trevor Odell rims a puck up the boards, but it's kept in by Chromiak. He'll send it into the corner. Cycled behind the goal. Hull trying to get to it. Nice play by Odell to get it on to the stick of Berhowski. Up ice Provorov looking for Kostic breakaway feed. It was out of his reach. Provorov finds it again, sends it backdoor, and Kostic couldn't redirect it into the open net. Another shot coming from Ula is gloved by Yermolenko.
Chase Reed played in that game for the Sioux, of course, coming off the World Juniors. Was there any word from the Sioux media about Brady Martin's status?
Yeah, no, I thought I saw something online that it was a 2 to 4 week thing, but that Chase Reed kid, boy, can he skate. He scored a beautiful goal against the Wolves, and I would be shocked if his name isn't one of the first 5 names set at this year's NHL draft.
He skates so well. I mean, it's a thing to watch, really. So fluid and very confident. And someone drew the comparison to a junior version now of Cale Makar. I go, that's an incredible comparison, but you know what? We'll have to see how this guy develops. He's a beauty to watch out there.
Yeah, the skating reminded me of Matthew Schaefer when I watched him play. He's got that same burst. I don't know if he can do it for as long as Schaefer does, 20-some-odd minutes a night, but did anyone think Matthew Schaefer was going to be this good in the NHL at this age?
I'm sure the Islanders have been surprised by the development and progress.
Minute 10 left in the first. Wolves on the rush here. Coughlin over the line in the near corner. Chips it far side. Ula trying to get after it. Tiller tried to chip it by him. Ula keeps it alive. Coughlin with a shot towards goal. That goes wide. Chips up the wall. Trevor O'Dell pinches in. Kept it in for the Wolves. Spencer battling with Coughlin for it now. Coughlin works it loose to Henderson. Up top, O'Dell. Down low. Now Coughlin trying to handle a bouncing puck. He throws it towards the goal. That's stopped by Yermolenko. Ula with a shot attempt now. That goes high and wide. Good shift here from the Wolves, though. Coughlin with it behind the net. Coughlin feathers one up top for Ula. Ula will fire, and that's gloved by Galyanov. Good work from him to see that shot through a maze of bodies.
There seems to be a phase right now where there's a lot of young, great talent emerging from junior hockey, getting ready to play pro hockey right off the bat. 18, 19 years old. Celebrini, when you take a look at Schaefer and you take a look at the possibilities with Chase Reed and others, so many talented players coming up, and they seem to be coming up at the right time.
Ozone draw won by Hovan. Artem Gonchar tried to get it back to Hovan. He does well to keep it in. A chance right in front. A bouncing puck gets chipped off the goal line by Haoshi Wang as Nemitz came that close for Sudbury. Gonchar at the blue line. His shot is blocked in front. Nemitz races after it. Up in the high slot. Nice pass across for Gonchar. Gonchar to Hovan. Hovan shooting. That's blocked. Final seconds will tick away in period number 1. The Niagara IceDogs take a 1-0 lead thanks to a goal by Hayden Reed. But the Wolves seem definitely that last shift seemed to be building a nice little connection between Hovan, Lemieux, and Nemitz, Rick.
Well, big save earlier by Yarmolenko in the first period. And again, Dean shot off the post. Could have been 2-0, maybe 1-0. And again, a bouncing puck in the crease. So again, Wolves are getting some chances. They've outshot Niagara by a 10-5 margin, but again, it's only 1-0. And again, that goal on Frasca, he couldn't see it. How do you stop it? So that's the way it spills out after 20 minutes here. But play has picked up the tempo, kind of sluggish for the first 15 minutes or so.
Around the rest of the Ontario Hockey League, Kitchener leads Oshawa 1-0 after 20. Flint leads Saginaw 1-0 after 20. How about North Bay up 4-0 on Brampton? Brantford and London are tied up at 0. Niagara obviously up 1-0 here against the Wolves. Erie and Sarnia are tied at 1. Barrie's up 3-1 on Guelph, and Ottawa and the Sioux are tied up at 0 after 1 period of play. We've got the BTB live stage coming up. We'll send it to them now.
The BTB live stage here at the Sudbury Community Arena. We're back, ladies and gentlemen. Happy New Year. Hope you had a fantastic holiday season. I know the boys did here. We got Tommy Vlaos here, Alex Chimino as always, and Mason Monet Savage back on the stream tonight. Mace, how you doing, buddy?
Oh, great. It's nice to see a fresh team out here.
Yes,
different.
A lot of new faces.
Moved past an era, I think, from where we started.
Why, did something happen? Did something happen this week?
No,
am I unaware of something? Did something happen this week?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, no.
Trade deadline
OHL trade deadline. There we go, yeah.
I thought you were going to say something else, but well, yeah.
No. Tom, how you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. You know, it's a new year, like Mason mentioned. Kind of an end of an era since we started this podcast 5 years ago. A lot of new faces and exciting first period. Obviously, we'll dive into it, but I'm fantastic and you know what? I'm optimistic. I'm staying positive, and I'm excited for the future here as a Wolves fan.
Well, let's break it down, boys. Obviously, a decent first period by the Wolfers. Obviously, a late one there. But let's get right into it and take a look at the new guys before we take a look at the trades. Obviously, we have Cenk Ula on the back end wearing number 88, Tom. We have Adam Nemec wearing number 71, and obviously J.C. Lemieux wearing number 66. Nemec and Lemieux playing together on the top line with Jan Chauvin. What were your first impressions of the new guys, Tom?
I honestly loved it, and I'm not going to take your line. I don't want to. But Ula came out for the first shift, and you said to me, because obviously we were chatting during the game, you said he's big, and he can move as a big guy, which is very exciting. He's obviously young. Everyone knows he's a 2008 birth year, so hopefully have him for the next year and maybe even the year after that. But he moved the puck well. He's partnered up with Odell, a veteran kind of guy to make him kind of comfortable out there for his first game, and I thought he was fantastic moving the puck. And in terms of Nemec, like you mentioned, playing first line, he's got that chemistry from the World Juniors with Chauvin, and it looks like obviously they're close friends. They arrived here together. The Wolves posted that lovely video with them coming to the ring together, so I thought that was pretty cool. And yeah, he's going to get a lot of reps because obviously we're going to dive into the trades. There's not many first liners anymore in this team, so he's going to get a lot of opportunity. But for a young, skilled guy like him, with hopes to get drafted this coming year in the NHL, more reps is better for him. So
definitely. Mace, you got anything?
I was impressed with all the new guys. It didn't look like we were out of place or missing the big boys, which like, it's sad to see Walt, Farzy, Villy leave, and they did bring the energy every night. You knew Walt was dancing someone, you knew Villy was getting a big hit, breakaway, slap shot from the ringette line. Something was going to happen. Farzy never knew when he was getting a hat trick.
It's true. It's true.
Well, and speaking of which, boys, obviously, before I announce the trades here, like Mason mentioned, I think the Wolves are going to have to start looking at finding other ways and depth guys to start scoring here. Depth scoring was a problem on this team. They relied a lot on those three players. Tommy gave me the stat here. I'll you want to say it or you want me to
You want to say Chat GP Tommy? Or
Chat GP Tommy told me the stat here. 43% of all Wolves goals scored this year have been scored by Nathan Villeneuve, Kieran Walton, and Alex Para. So it's going to be a big issue right now for the Wolves to try and find some scoring here. But I think with the additions of Nemec, Lemieux, like it's a young crew, and it also gives guys like Henderson, Clayton, guys obviously playing more of a shutdown role to actually step up here. They're going to get a lot of power play time as well. So obviously Gonchar on the back end will help a little bit with scoring too. But yeah, I think they're going to need a lot of help depth-wise. It's going to be a lot of scoring by committee, in my opinion.
And it can either go one way or the other. Like you mentioned, those three guys obviously all played power play, rightfully so. They were fantastic for the Wolves. And Ferrand was kind of in and out of the first unit, but Walton and Villeneuve were staples on that first unit for the whole year, right? So it's like, who's going to come in and replace them on the power play? So I'm curious to see. We didn't get a power play for the Wolves that period, but we'll see what their first unit looks like. But like you mentioned, it could be a good thing or it could be a bad thing, because a lot of new guys in new spots, or it can go really south and the power play can go cold. But you'll see. Well, I guess we'll see. So
the first trade that came just a couple days ago, Alex Ron and Nathan Villeneuve going over to Windsor, who's obviously loading up for a big run here for a second in 2027, a second in 2028, a third in 26, a third in 2/3 in 28, a fourth in 2029, a fifth in 28, and a fifth in 29, as well as J.C. Lemieux. I mean, I think the Wolves did as good as they could on a trade like that.
I agree, and one guy I didn't mention when we talked about the new guys is Lemieux, playing first line. I thought he was great too. A lot of skill. Like, it's exciting when it's a fresh start for these guys. They probably weren't expected to get traded, and to come into a new team, they can prove to a lot of people that they belong in this league. So they're going to get a lot of opportunities with, playing first line. But in all, I think the trade was very fair, for both sides. So like you mentioned, Windsor's first in the West. They won 9-1 last night. They looked fantastic, and it just sucks. It sucks to see Villeneuve, who was a draft pick of the Wolves, captain of the team, have to get traded when the Wolves. You mentioned the cycle. How many times we mentioned the cycle of the OHL? The Wolves were really good 2 years ago when we took a bus in North Bay, when that team was loaded. Right now, we're sitting here talking about them rebuilding in a way, or retooling.
Well, it is.
But honestly, I'll send it over to you guys now, but I thought seeing that trade for the first time when it came through, I was really happy with the return.
Yeah, I think they did the best they could, in my opinion. Obviously, a tough situation, and I'm always a big fan of putting some of your better players and who've served the team well in a good situation. They're going to have a great chance at a run. They made an immediate impact with the Windsor. I believe Fron had a couple points, and Villeneuve with 2 goals as well. They won 9-1 against Erie. So I think Windsor's set for a nice run. Villeneuve looks great with Liam Greentree. My goodness, they are going to look good. What was your thoughts seeing that trade, Mace?
Well, my first thought was just what return we're getting back.
Right.
It's hard in a league where you can't trade first-round picks to start equating what you see in the NHL or basketball, anything where you see a couple firsts for your all-star. In a league that's developmental too, it's hard to equate what some of those players might be worth or how those draft picks are going to go. But like you said, these second-round picks, Walton was a second-round pick. If we can get another one of those out of those two, like it's really just a game of odds, right? Percentages where you stockpile as much as you can, and we get 10 new guys every year, and one of those guys are going to crack it. So you just need to stockpile, fill the cookie cabinet, and see what happens.
Yeah, and I did want to see the Wolves get a player in return, right? A young guy, and they did. And JC Lemieux, who obviously, my opinion, looked great to start off on the top line. He's going to get a lot of ice on that line there with Chauvin and Nemec.
What was your thoughts when you saw it?
Like I said, fair, for sure.
Yeah.
Like I said a couple times, I think it's the best the Wolves could have done in a tough situation. I'm happy they committed to the sell. I do not think it was a buy-in year, especially with the start they had in the last couple of games leading to the deadline. I mean, they were giving up 40 shots a game. It just wasn't the year, right? And that is the pendulum of junior hockey. So I think the Wolves did a great job to set themselves up coming up here for a run maybe when we get the new arena in 28 or 29. Taking a look at the Walton trade that happened kind of at the 11th hour here. Rumors were flying all over the place. But the final deal, Walton going to the Peterborough Petes for Jenkula. Fun note for you folks, Wolves also have his brother Patrick Eula, who's showcased in a few games here for the Wolves. So a little good connection there. They're also both committed to the University of Vermont. A second in 2029, 3/3 those coming in 26, 27, and 29, and a fifth in 27. Kind of from what I was reading, a lot of people weren't ecstatic about the return. At the end of the day, when it comes down to it, I think the market dried up a little bit, and you got what you could. All the other teams had made their moves, I think. So on Peterborough's side, not sure. They get a great piece in Walton. Who knows how long Walton's going to stay there for? I think he's gone next year. But an interesting move. But again, the Wolves can also flip one of those third-round picks to a second-rounder easily, in my opinion.
Great point, Chin.
Yeah, thanks.
Start making some packages, trade up.
Yeah, it definitely can happen, right? So,
100%.
Your thoughts on the Walton trade and maybe the return?
Yeah, I texted the group chat, and my answer was meh, like as the kids would say. I thought it wasn't as much as I would have hoped for a guy that's second in the league in scoring. It just, like you mentioned, it was so late in the day. It was the 11th hour. It came at 11:30 a.m. and the deadline ended at noon. I think they could have got more if they would have done it a couple weeks before, but everyone kind of had their deals kind of in place. Like this week was really heavy. I'm sure in the second intermission we'll dive through the other big trades, but all the...
Oh, there it is. Go Leafers.
All the top end East and West teams kind of already got their guys, right? So Walton's sitting there, and you got to respect the player because we're hearing stuff that they really liked it here, right?
Yeah.
So the Wolves basically, like they almost had him on the team tonight. Like, I don't know if that deal almost didn't go through, but it sounded like they had to almost say yes to what they got at the last minute to commit to the selling.
Right.
Like,
as soon as you move Villeneuve in front, you have to.
Yeah.
You have to.
But
now,
I'll
keep going.
I just want to, one more piece. I liked how they got a player back.
Yeah.
Like with picks.
Yeah.
Eula, to me, in the first period, big D, they could move the puck. You got an OHL-ready player now. You didn't have to load up on the 8 picks and hope, right? Pray and hope from your scouting team to hit the lottery in a way, right?
And he's only in 08, so he'll be here for a bit.
Exactly,
right?
and it's similar to the Villeneuve trade with Lemieux. Like, you got players that can play right now, and they're on your first line and your first D pairing. So I could be more disappointed, but I'm satisfied.
Yeah, the best that they could with what they had. What did you think seeing that move?
Is there a chance Ula's going to school next year, though?
It's the year after.
At the most.
Because 08s are graduating this year, heading to school.
Right.
He's committed for 27-28.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you'll have him next year, and I think you could push when you go though too, right?
What's the rush? You know what I mean? Like max. I'm a big fan. Why don't you just max out your years here in the OHL and go
Develop
into
more
and especially going into college where there's older guys playing, and you want to go in there maybe at a little bit of an older age, a little more mature as well. And obviously there'll be the factor of his brother being here too. It'll be cool to see them. I'm sure Patrick will be a key part of this team coming up here, especially maybe next year. Yes.
The one thing I wanted to chime in, and I wanted to ask you guys' opinion. We're following the league quite a bit this year, obviously. I didn't think it was going to be Peterborough. I
was shocked it was Peterborough.
Like, Peterborough is in the middle of the East right now. A lot of people on, I want to say Twitter, but it's X, from Peterborough's side are saying, like, why are we buying, right? Like, how good Brantford, Barrie, Ottawa is in the East.
Right.
How are they going to compete? But Walton, maybe they see it as a guy that can win you two rounds and maybe get you to a conference final and see what happens, right?
Definitely.
He's one of the best guys in the power play. Special teams is a huge difference in playoffs. And hey, man, maybe Peterborough thinks they got what it takes, and obviously a really good coach there in Ron Wilson. So
yeah, definitely. Now, one move before we send it off, and we still got a little bit of time. A move maybe that some people were thinking of maybe would happen is moving Artem Gonchar.
Yeah.
Didn't end up happening at the end of the day. You know, whether he stays as an OA next year, I mean, it would be fantastic if he's around as an OA next year. We'll see. What did you think? I know, Tom, you were kind of texting me. You would have liked to see a movement there.
Yeah, I almost have to go back and look at when a NHL draft pick in the first, second, and third round, Artem Gonchar being a third-round pick to the Rangers, stayed your overage year to come back in the OHL.
Yeah, you never know, though.
You never know, but usually when you're a top 3-round pick like that in the NHL, the NHL team's going to have a lot to say to that as well, right?
For sure.
Like, how is he going to be...
Where the best spot is for him.
How is he going to be on the AHL team for them? And maybe it is going to be a fit here because he can be the man for this OHL team and play every situation possible. Power play, penalty kill. He's doing it now, and let alone fast forward a year when he's going to be a year older. The only thing that is benefiting him, and I hope eventually a deal does come from him, is that he's not signed.
Right.
So an entry-level deal, usually the NHL team is, if they're committing to you, similar to Walton, they'll be with the American team the following year.
Right.
Usually when you are signed. So Gonchar not being signed will benefit the Wolves, and hopefully he will return.
Yeah. No, I think that's a huge factor in deciding not to move him, right?
Exactly.
I think you're absolutely right. So I think, especially just coming over as well, it takes some time to get used to the Northern American style of play here. And
he started off so slow.
He had a slow start, right?
Yeah.
So I think I definitely think it's a possibility that he'll be around for sure. Any one other mention, boys? Just the Wolves not going and getting another OA. Obviously, the OA deadline kind of short up. I think the market dried up, especially on OAs. I'm okay with it, and I'm okay with them not moving Chase Coughlin or Gavin Ewells as well. Shout out to Gavin Ewells going to Robert Morris, committed there, which is great.
Yes.
And I think you need those two guys as leadership. You need them big time.
In the room. Yeah, I think they're going to be a huge part of the next 2 months of the season for them, right? Colgan's been around the team for quite 2 years now, two and a bit, and Yulesy, I think, a year and a half. So stay-at-home D and a forward that brings it every night. So he'll teach the ropes to some of these young guys, and obviously, like you mentioned, the leadership is huge. If you would have dealt those guys, you need some OAs with these young guys, and that's really the close notes of it.
Real quick, keys to the period, Tom, for the Wolfers here.
Got to find a way to get some offense, man. I mean, they got 9 shots here in the first period. We saw Diener hit the post. Diener, man, he's always doing when we're here. So maybe get a power play, get it on the forecheck, and see if he can get at least 1 or 2, hopefully.
Mace,
generate some offense somehow.
I think we got to keep the puck out of the net. I know that first goal wasn't totally his fault, but we just got to make sure we're saving those point shots, and that we lost the forward lost the D-man on that one too.
Yes.
So we just cleared the front of the net. I think this is going to be a 2-1 hockey game, whoever wins.
Yeah, I like it. If I'm the Wolfers, hey, someone's got to try and score. Someone's got to step up here, right? Yeah. Step up. Now's the time. You want to earn some ice. You want to earn some power play time. Go and get it. Yeah. Go and be hungry. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, we are a minute away from puck drop. This is the BTB live stage. We're going to be back with you during the second intermission. It's always a blast with you. We're going to send it over to those beauties, Dave Bowen and Rick Wyman. Now.
All right, shout out to Chimino and Associates for covering us during the intermission. David Bowen and Rick Wyman here. After 20 minutes of play, I'm sure Chimino and the boys talked about it, but the Wolves down by a goal. Pretty low event, opening 20 minutes, the only goal going to Hayden Reed for Niagara. Rick, I think I can steal what you're about to say as I'm going to ask you what do you want to see here in period number 2. Let me go ahead and guess in some more shots toward Vladislav Yermolenko and a few more scoring chances for the Wolves.
That and I'm thinking that, maybe the Wolves... I want to see who's going to start stepping up and add some physicality to the lineup.
Yep.
That's something that we talked about earlier on in regards to various pro teams and what they were doing, like the Leafs the other night when they played Florida. But you know what? Go out there and hit some bodies, cause some chaos, and get things going because, you know what? You've got to rattle a few feathers. And the thing is, some teams are just soft. And, Niagara is not offering very much this evening. So rattle a few cages out there.
Puck is dropped. Period 2 is underway. Artem Gonchar with it inside the Wolves zone. Saucer pass up ice. Hovan lends it across to Lemieux. Tried to center for Nemitz. That goes into the corner. Nemitz in behind the goal for J.C. Lemieux. Lemieux throwing it in front. Nemitz is there, and his backhander goes off the goal post. Now Hovan fires, and it goes off a stick up to the meshing out of play.
I love the backhander.
Oh.
I love the backhander. You don't see it a lot, but great scoring opportunity there. So again, Wolves pressing right out the get-go. And so why not?
Yeah, it's 2 goal posts for the Wolves now. Ethan Dean with 1 in the first, and now Nemitz, who's been all around the net. With a good look in the first as well. Fires one off the crossbar there.
Well, somebody's got to pick up the slack. I mean, after all, Walton had 24 goals.
He led the OHL in points.
Yeah, exactly. So there's a lot of slack to be picked up.
Niagara and Doherty with it after a D-zone face-off win. Pass up ice, Robrick. Couldn't handle it. Now chips it back into his own zone. They tried to return it to Robrick. That was stolen away by the Wolves. Yules got it to Hovan. He had his pocket picked. Yules gets it back. He'll try and race after a loose puck now over the line. Takes down Deleltsy. Took him down. It's going to be a penalty to Niagara as Hovan fires. That goes high and wide. Then Frasca on his way to the bench thought about playing the puck. Now the Wolves will get the 6th attacker out there as Gonchar reloads inside the Wolves zone. Gonchar up ice. Drops it for Lemieux. He'll drop it back to Blondeau, who blew a tire, and he's back up to his feet. So Wolves are looking for a clean break in here with the extra man out there. It's the game's first power play for either team is coming. Lemieux over the line. His pass misses target. It's touched by the IceDogs. So the Wolves power play, which is obviously a new look with all the fresh faces, will get their first opportunity of the night.
So you saw Lemieux Wednesday, skates well.
Yep. Was playing
nice size. I'm just trying to get some kind of interest out there. I love the 66. I mean, hey, why not? Mario wore it.
Yep. The boys are calling him Mario now. We'll see what Mario and the boys can do on the power play here. Jan Hovan taking the face-off. He gets some help from Nemitz to get it to Gonchar at the blue line. He'll walk the line and fire, and that goes just wide. J.C. Lemieux on it in the far corner. Trying to spin away from Spencer. He'll work it to the point. Gonchar swings it across to Hovan. Jan Hovan back to Gonchar. Gonchar across. Lemieux one-timer and a good save made by Yermolenko there.
And he's also from Gatineau, so I'm just wondering if he moved to Ontario or had a chance to maybe play in the queue, but opted for coming to the OHL. But again, Gatineau is where I was raised after making the big cross, from Ottawa. Born in Ottawa, raised in Gatineau, so quite familiar with that territory. Denny Savard, Danny Briere, and now J.C. Lemieux from that area as well. So I'm in good company.
Off the draw, both teams battling for it. It's kicked to the point by Lemieux. He gets it back from Gonchar. Nice feed to Hoban. He shoots. It took the helmet off of Yermolenko. Bit of an unfortunate bounce there for the Wolves as the puck was loose in the slot, but Rick, you got to blow the play dead if the helmet comes off the goalie.
Well, we do it in minor hockey. Even if the blocker or the trapper come off in minor hockey for a goalie, the helmet, anything. And I always like to check with goaltenders too after they've been struck in the face to make sure everything's okay, because the emphasis, after all, in minor hockey is for player safety. But you don't want to see anyone get dinged on a situation like that without a helmet, so you've got to blow it down.
Yeah. My dad's favorite player of all time, Johnny Bauer, would like a word, but that was a different time, of course. Off the draw, Wang trying to clear it, skips by Lemieux. It rolls all the way back into the Wolf zone.
Yes, and we lost another Hall of Famer, Glenn Hall, earlier this week. Over 500 games, consecutive games without a helmet as well. So those are the guys who faced a lot of rubber.
Gonchar brought it up ice himself, does well to find it in the corner, works it up high to Lemieux. Lemieux and Gonchar will trade places. Gonchar middle of the ice, near the blue line, now near the left circle, sends it in front. Nemitz tried to sling it across to Lemieux. It was just out of his reach. Hovan middle of the ice, walking in. Jan Hovan will fire, scores! Jan Hovan, bar down, and it's tied at one.
Is it just me, or did he have too much time in that face-off circle right on the dot to simply set up his shot, pick his corner, and rifle the puck? Because you could see him 1, 2, 3, it's in the net. But again, Ryan Kennedy, Hockey News, said this guy's got a lot of scoring potential. I don't know when he wrote the story about the pre-Olympic chances or the pre-World Junior chances. He said Hovan's problem, he's playing on a bad team in Sudbury. And I'm reading this going, what?
Come on. Come on, Ryan, taking shots at Sudbury for no reason, but Hovan gets the Wolves on the board. Credit to Daniel Berehowski, who was parked in front, providing a good screen there in front of Yermolenko. Puck dumped into the Wolves zone. Trevor Odell up the wall. Coughlin couldn't quite get it out. It's brought out of the zone by the IceDogs and Chase Hull, who fires it back in. Frasca leaves it behind the goal. Ula to Odell. Pass up ice. Chromiak read that. He'll chip it back into the Wolves zone. Frasca playing it up the boards. It bounces off the wall right to Coughlin. He'll bring it up ice. Coughlin by himself. Tried to take it to the net. It bounced off his stick. Clayton trying to follow up. Worked it a little deeper, but Tiller's there for Niagara. Up ice to Hull, and a good check there from Jens Ula. Takes Hull off the puck as Ula tries to endear himself to the Wolves faithful in his first game. Maybe he was listening to you, Rick, as you wanted some more physicality. Didn't quite run over his guy, but at least made some body contact. Zrobrick will get it ahead, and Sean Doherty will almost give it away. He races back to it. Got it to Chromiak. His pass goes off a shin pad, and this will be an offside call now as Coughlin touches up.
While you were still playing minor hockey, there were twin brothers called the Pilons that played in Sudbury.
Oh, yeah, I was around for their last 2 years. I know all well about the Pilons.
Those guys were worth the price of admission. Anyone who came into this arena certainly knew that you didn't mess with the Wolves because you'd have to deal with either one or maybe even both.
Oh, next whistle, I'll give you a good Pilon story. One that's applicable for the airwaves as it's dumped into the Wolves zone. Brady Smith collides with his man. Bennett works the puck up the boards, and Kostic will tip it to center. It's fired right back in by Niagara's Ben Reisnecker. Brady Smith behind the net. Long pass up ice. Kostic will handle it at the Niagara blue line. Find Ethan Dean. Dean trying to drive wide on Reisnecker. He took it away from him. Reisnecker long pass up ice. Patterson brings it in offside. So
Pilon story.
Chance for the Pilon story. So everyone knows the Pilons may be the most competitive individuals ever. I mean, the reason they played in the Ontario Hockey League and have gone and played in the Coast League is hard work and physicality. But we used to play this game. It's called Spike Ball. I was on Darian Pilon's team, and Drake Pilon was playing with another member of the Wolves at the time. And Me and Darian Pilon won, and Darian looked right at Drake Pilon, and he just reamed him out and told him, hey, you know what? The only reason you're on this team is because of me. And they went at it for a good 20 minutes. So the Pilons, even though they were twins, they weren't necessarily best friends all the time. They competed against one another like they did against the opposing teams.
Ultra competitive.
Ultra competitive. Bouncing puck, Jan Hovan with it at the Wolves' blue line, ahead for Jens Ula. Ula up ice with a shot. That goes off a shin pad and wide. Adam Nemitz cycling for Jan Hovan. Hovan up high. Here's Hudson Martin. Scores! Hudson Martin! How about a high glove beauty for your first Ontario Hockey League goal? 2-1 Sudbury.
Sure, his dad would be very proud of that one. And again, nice setup. All kinds of time to get that shot away. He went upstairs and wound up coming through with a big goal. 2-1 lead. What a difference a few minutes makes in this game.
Jan Hovan put it right onto the rookie D-man stick, and he made no mistake. And congratulations, Hudson. Keep that puck. And the Wolves hop out to their first lead of the hockey game. Who said this was a boring game, Rick? Now we got goals, we got action, we got hits. Only 5 minutes gone by in period number 2 as Coughlin brings it up ice. He'll flick it in. Bouncing puck behind the goal. Coughlin tied up with Tiller. Now Provorov in there for the Wolves trying to dig it loose. Most exciting play in hockey going on now as the puck is stuck up against the boards. Never quite know how to do the play-by-play for this. The officials could surely help us out with a whistle here soon enough. But maybe they want this to just continue on. Now someone's going to come in and just bowl over everyone, and now the puck finally comes free. Sean Doherty, oh, no, now he's tied up against the boards. Provorov digs it loose. Back to the point, Gavin Ewells. Over for Provorov. Cross ice, Artem Gonchar. Doesn't shoot it, trying to take it by his man. Gonchar in the corner, leaves it for Berhowski. Up high now, Vladimir Provorov. Backdoor Gonchar to the net. That gets tipped just wide. Provorov on it near corner. Sharp angle try. That goes high and wide. And out of play for a whistle.
Well, in minor hockey, we're told let the guys play and see if they can free up the puck. In some cases, we blow the whistle down because we don't want anyone to get injured. But again, that's a tough situation because the referees are urging, as you've heard, playing goal, play the puck, free the puck, move it. But sometimes it doesn't always work that way. So it took us 15 minutes of the first period to get things going. The last 5 were great. It's transcended into the second period, so we've just played over 6 minutes now, and we've got some semblance of a half-decent hockey game. But it took a while.
So I got a question for you, Rick. When you're officiating a game, how many steamboats until you say, okay, I'm blowing the play dead?
Probably about 3, maybe 2.5.
2.5.
Because I'll count them down. It's just like
that had to have been about 7 or 8 steamboats.
Way too long. I'll just go, okay, 1, 2. It's like when I'm changing on the line change, I'll go 1, 2, 5. Here we go. If I don't see any action, next, we'll get it going. So it's all a judgment piece. And the thing is, you're urging them to move the puck. And the girls do a great job of trying to keep the puck in play. The kids at a younger age, they just don't know any better, but it's more strategic as teams get older.
Yeah. So first TV timeout of period number 2 is over. Wolves continuing on the forecheck here. It's worked up the wall by Niagara, but Nemitz sealed it, and Gonchar takes a good check there from Reisnecker. Down goes Hovan. Pardon me, not Gonchar, Hovan, but Ewells keeps it in on the far corner. Now a pass in front by Lemieux goes off a skate and wide. Gonchar trying to pinch and keep it in. Does a nice job to do so. Hovan in front, and Lemieux had it hop over his stick.
Well, these guys are clicking.
Lemieux, after a giveaway, has it in the neutral zone. He'll bring it in over the line. Lemieux to the point, Gonchar. Cross Gavin Ewells. His shot goes off a stick. Up into the meshing, out of play.
Well, again, so Lemieux playing in his second game, getting a little bit of synchronicity with Hovan out there, making some plays, and that's a good thing. So again, coming together, like I said, takes a couple of games of practice sessions and trying to figure out the yin and the yang, but that's a good sign for Sudbury Wolves fans, and they picked up the energy with a 2-1 lead.
Wolves win the face-off. Blonda sends it in behind the goal. Comes to the near corner. Dean trying to get to it in front for Clayton. That was blocked. Now Blonda finds it. Blonda sifts it through. That hit Rowan Henderson in front. IceDogs will break it out. Robrick will dump it in. Not after Brady Smith gave him a good check. Comes to the line. Long shot here blocked by Smith, but Patterson's onto it for Niagara. They'll walk it near the blue line. Middle of the ice now. Riley Patterson to the net. That goes high and wide. Brady Smith on the loose puck will bounce it off the wall, but Chromiak kept it in. Now Doherty centering in front. That's going to roll all the way to the boards. Patterson's there. He'll chip it down low. Robrick as Niagara looks to answer back. Robrick throws it in front. Chromiak near circle shooting, and that's blocked there by Rowan Henderson. Puck in behind the Wolves' goal. Henderson has it now for Sudbury. He'll chip it up the wall ahead for Clayton. Clayton chips it by Robrick. Maybe a chance here for the Wolves. Clayton sending it back to Ethan Dino. It's swept off the goal line by Grayson Tiller. Henderson in the slot. His shot is blocked. Henderson staying with it. On it in the near corner. Into the middle. Ethan Dean shooting. And good save there by Yermolenko. He got just a piece of it with the glove. Here's Jens Ula. Down low for Coughlin. Tried to get it to Bennett. Bennett fell over. Now they battle for it along the wall. It's worked up the boards. Now Coughlin got a good look, and that shot was blocked. Here's Braden Bennett throwing it in front. Kostic gets clipped with a high stick, but no call. Here's Odell at the point. Across to Ula. Ula's shot goes wide. Bennett finds it in the far corner. Braden Bennett down low for Coughlin. Coughlin centering feed. That rolls up top for Ula. Down low, Bennett. He'll bring it up near the blue line. Middle of the ice, across. Odell, one-time try. That goes off of Coughlin and wide. Niagara's got some tired guys out here. Patterson has control of it. He'll try and get it out. Nice feed ahead to Robrick. Robrick, end of his shift, will just take a long shot on Frasca. Frasca smartly will keep play going. It's rimmed around the boards. Bennett trying to skate after it. He too is at the end of his shift. Couldn't get to it, and Tiller dumps it in. Odell chips it up the wall. Coughlin near the blue line. Tips it ahead for Kostic. He was cut off, and now Niagara has it in their own zone. Reisnecker over to Tiller. Pass up ice here for Alexander Hage. He's swallowed up at the blue line. Ula will flick it ahead. A bouncing puck. Coughlin trying to race after it. Provorov following up. Now Reisnecker is able to kick it up ice. Alexander Hage over the Wolves blue line. Far circle trying to cut to the middle. That's knocked away by Clayton. Following up here is Hayden Reed. Reed's pass taken away. Clayton with it now, trying to spring Coughlin, but Haoshi Wang was back in time for Niagara. Zada has it up ice. Zada driving in wide on the near circle. A centering pass went off a skate, and Frasca was quick-witted to knock that away. Reisnecker to Doherty. A long shot here, blockered away by Frasca. Pinching in is Wang. Wang has it near the blue line now. Got it over to Doherty. He'll chip it down low. Zada behind the goal. Left it for Hayden Reed. Reed, top of the near circle, trying to get to the middle of the ice. Has it, still circling. Far circle now, and a shot coming and sticked away by Frasca. Battle up against the boards in behind the Wolves' goal now. Dug loose by Niagara and worked to the point by Chase Hull. Reisnecker, D to Wang. Delayed penalty coming to Sudbury. Good move here by Hull. Hull now stopping up in the near corner is sixth attacker now out for Niagara. Here's Hull. Has it bounce over his stick, and now he has to bring it back into the neutral zone. So Niagara's going to get their first look on the power play, unless they score here. Hull with it in the neutral zone. Rink wide feed. Robrick with some room. He'll walk in and fire, and Frasca with a good pad save there. Wolves need to get a touch, and they will, courtesy of Blake Clayton.
Okay, let's see what Niagara can do. I mean, that situation in the Niagara zone where they couldn't get it out for the longest period of time.
Yeah.
It was almost comical trying to see some of the attempts that Niagara was trying to utilize in terms of getting that puck out, but the Wolves just cycled, shot, made the most of their opportunities, but it remains a 2-1 game, so now it's Niagara's turn to see what they can do on the power play. Clayton in the box, and we've got 8:57 to go to see if magic happens and we wind up with a tie game during this man advantage.
Face off, won by Coughlin. Blonda will take it around back of the goal and gets a good chunk of that backhander to lift it the length of the ice. Yermolenko leaves it for Riley Patterson. Drop back pass, Robrick. Long feed up by Zada. Now Patterson's got a chance in on goal. Oh, Paulo Frasca read him like a book and slid from right to left to deny Patterson.
Goaltenders have a tendency sometimes of either over or underplaying an opportunity like that. He read that very well. And his lateral movement going from right to left, making sure to secure the puck on that save, and again forcing the face-off. But a nice save here. Really, I mean, Niagara hasn't had very many shots in this game. They're being outplayed, but it's still a 1-goal deficit.
Niagara won the O-zone face-off, but it split the defenders. Goes back into their own zone. Kromiak drops it back. Patterson, now Robrick. Far wing, now Zada over the line. Tried to drop it back to the point, but Adam Nemitz read that. He'll chip it out of the Wolves zone. Race after it, pressuring here on Kromiak. Centering feed for Dean, and that was just knocked out of his reach by Ryan Robrick. Minute 3 seconds left on the first power play of the game for Niagara. 2-1 lead here for Sudbury with 7:55 left in the second. Robrick with it in the neutral zone for the IceDogs. Over the Wolves blue line, takes it into the corner. Peels back, plays it to the point for Kromiak. Turns the favor to Robrick. Robrick, top of the left circle, down into the corner. Edgar takes it in around back of the goal. His centering pass is bouncing around, and Brady Smith will fire at the length of the ice for the Wolves. Yermolenko out of the goal to play it. Ahead for Robrick. Now Edgar over the Wolves blue line. He'll take it into the corner. Now cycle it opposite corner for Riley Patterson. He'll chip it to the point. Kromiak, cross ice for Robrick. His pass hits a stick, but Patterson finds it. Into the middle. Zada's shot is blocked in front. Wolves couldn't quite get a handle of it to clear. Zada back up top for Robrick. He'll send it to the net. That's tipped high and wide. Brady Smith trying to clear. Henderson trying to help out, along with Coughlin. It comes to the blue line, but not out. Out of the box is Clayton. Here's the centering feed. Robrick will fire, and Frasca got just the knob of the stick on that. Goal stick out of the hands of Frasca now. Niagara still pressuring, but given away by Robrick. Coughlin's able to clear. Frasca will race out of the goal and collect his goal stick. Reisnecker is a lap of his own goal, trying to bring it up ice. Gets around Provorov. Now Wang over the line. Over for Patterson. Return feed and a backdoor pass there from Wang. Just missed Gallianov. Wolves get the handle of it. Provorov up ice. Oh, a chance for a 2-on-1, but it was out of the reach of Gonchar. Bouncing puck in the neutral zone. Now Berhowski plays it back to Gonchar inside the Wolves zone. Gonchar trying to get through the neutral zone. He gave it away. Hayden Reed over the line. Long shot here, goes high and wide. Wang keeps it in. He'll chip it into the corner. Gallianov tried to get it back up top, and the Wolves, another chance for a 2-on-1, if not a good stick from Wang. Long feed by Yules now. Missed Lemieux, would have been icing, but Berhowski is there. Berhowski for Lemieux. Sharp angle, trying to rebound try. Provorov denied by Yermolenko. He'll hold for a whistle.
Provorov has been heating up of late as well with his offensive chances for the Sudbury Wolves. Good to see out there. So Wolves do a good job killing off that penalty. Frasca making some saves. Wolves still out shooting Niagara in this contest. Not sure about the accuracy of the shots on goal. I mean, chances are a better definition of what's really happening in this game nonetheless. But okay, it's still a 2-1 hockey game, but the Wolves, to their credit, have picked it up here in the second period. And hey, why not? Take a 2-1 lead to the dressing room if you have to, or try to increase it. But much better effort here in the second period than what we saw in the opening frame, at least with the exception of the last 5 minutes. Just an atrocious start between these two teams trying to get something going in the opening segment, but it's picked up and it's making the fans a lot more comfortable getting into this hockey game.
5:46 left to go in period 2. Jan Hovan and Hudson Martin, the goal scorers for the Wolves. Martin's first goal as a Wolf.
Neil, his dad, played with the Wolves in the 90s, and I'm sure he's got to be really happy with that.
Right off the draw, the Wolves got it towards Yermolenko, but he'll hold for a whistle.
I saw the game where you got your first shutout in the OHL. You still have that puck kicking around somewhere?
It's somewhere. I don't think it's with me here in Sudbury, but yeah, the grandkids will hear that story
because I saw one of the guys give you the puck at the end of the game.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm living proof that you did get a shutout.
Yeah, that's nice. You know what? Not too many people know about that, Rick. I try to inform them, but they don't believe me.
And that was against Owen Sound as well.
No, that was against Ottawa. Beat Owen Sound here too, though, Rick. So maybe you were a big supporter. You watched me play more than maybe anyone. Here's Robrick in his own zone.
I'm your typical rink rat. I live at the rink.
You're a little tall to be a rat, though.
Ottawa with the shutout. Okay, I stand corrected. I know it. I knew it started with an O.
That's good. Here's Tiller with it in the slot. His shot goes high and wide. Martin pressuring on Edgar in the far corner. Robrick in there helping out. He works it to the line. Tiller swings it D to D. Spencer up top now. Patterson middle of the ice. Carries to the near circle. Now down in the corner. He can't get around Kostic. Kostic battling to get it out. He banks it ahead for Braden Bennett. Bennett onto the stick of Blonda now. They just keep it onside apparently. The linesman of the broadcast duo here doesn't agree, but it's going to be no harm, no fouls. Niagara fires a long pass up ice. It goes off his stick into the meshing out of play.
Saw that skate cross the line, but negligible. 4.5 to go here. We'll take a look at some of the out-of-town scores here and get you caught up. It was 4-0 for North Bay at one time in their contest over Brampton.
I gotta interrupt you. I just got a message from our alleged bigger rink rat, Snoop, who's here all the time. He said Rick's not a rink rat. If anyone's a rink rat, it's me. It's Snoop.
Okay.
I agree with that for sure.
Our master technician.
Yes.
Okay.
I'll let you do the out-of-town score next whistle. I apologize. I had to give Snoop a little bit of a shout out there.
And it's
pass up ice deflects off of Doherty's stick into the Wolf zone. Jens Ula trying to work it up the wall. It comes to the blue line. Kept in for a moment, but now the Wolves get control. 3-on-2 here. Ula over the line. He'll drop it back. Henderson carries into the corner. Plays it behind the goal. Ula trying to set up Ethan Dean. He gets knocked down. No call, and now a 3-on-2 the other way. Doherty across. A shot coming here, and a good stick from Odell. Deflects it up into the meshing out of play. Okay, Rick, I won't get in your way this time.
Without further ado, it's still 4-0 Battalion over Brampton at the end of the second. Flint leading Saginaw by a score of 2-1. Kitchener 2-0 over Oshawa. Brantford leading London 4-0. Still can't get over that trade. London, Kitchener, rivals in the league, but a huge trade. Players, picks. I thought that rivals didn't make big trades like that in the OHL, but they do.
Here's Hao Shi-Wang walking in, shooting and scoring. Just like that, the newest addition to the IceDogs ties the game at 2.
Nice shot. And we've got an even game with 3:44 to go. I like his size, and he's got a good shot. We've seen a couple of chances here in this game so far. Going to the replay, getting around his man high in the slot, moving to the face-off circle, keeping it low enough and beating Frasca.
Yeah, I wonder if that caught a piece of Jan Hovon's stick en route. Nevertheless, the IceDogs climb back into the game and tie it at 2 with just 3:40 left to go in period number 2. Yule's in his own zone, trying to chip it up the wall and out. It's kept in by Hull for Niagara. Gonchar now with it behind the Wolves' goal. He's got some time. He'll saucer one up ice looking for Lemieux. That didn't quite work out. And now Nemitz forces a giveaway. He's trying to chip it in over the line. It's tied up along the boards right at the blue line. Comes loose. Yules finds Gonchar. He'll bring it in. Gonchar will ring it around the boards. Hovon chasing after it. Bumped Hull off the puck, but it's picked up by Galyanov for Niagara. Up ice for Reisnecker. He'll dump it in. Rolls into the far corner. Niagara close to too many men, but no call. Now Nemitz with it near corner. Chipped it back for Gonchar. He returns the favor, and Nemitz will skate it ahead. Ahead to Jan Hovon. He'll dump it in. Wolves need a change. That allows time for Hayden Reed to wind it up. Reed will take it up ice. Over the blue line, Reed pressured by Berhowski, and Berhowski's able to get the puck away. Berhowski looking for Coughlin. Coughlin trying to tap it by Tiller, but Tiller was able to get back in time. Wolves regrouping it. Pass up ice goes off of Berhowski towards the goaltender Gallianoff. He backhanders one right to Carson Chartier on the Wolves bench. Credit him for a save with the glove there.
Maybe he just liked the hat.
Yep.
Thoughts on the World Junior Championship? Not a bad tournament. I didn't like the ending for Canada, but they did get the bronze.
Yeah, I mean, those darn Czechs, they officially have our number. It's 3 years in a row now. But, I mean, Canada gave up way too many goals in that tournament. If you're an old-time hockey watcher, you're probably not too happy with the amount of scoring chances the Canadians gave up on a game-by-game basis.
Yeah, the defense was not as good as last year, but then again, the offense was a lot better, and lots of goals were forthcoming from Canada. The goaltending was good, for the most part, but there were mistakes, and again, it's a bronze and no goal. No gold.
Here's Coughlin will wind it up. That shot is blocked. It comes out into the neutral zone. Yeah, it's been a little too long for Canadian standards to not have the gold medal around those young men's necks. There's a collision right in the Wolves zone. Berhowski and I believe that's Riley Patterson inadvertently ran into one another. Provorov up ice. Now to Berhowski. He's back on his feet. He'll walk in and fire, and that shot is blocked by Chromiak. Now off the bench, Zada's got a breakaway. He's in on goal. Zada, backhander stopped by Frasca.
Wow, I like that one.
Zada trying to center now. That's taken away by Provorov, and then it's whacked towards Frasca. He'll pounce on that.
Patterson went to the bench. He was very slow in going to the bench after that collision. And
it's funny how a little stoppage like that, the Wolves get a chance because Berhowski's the odd man going this way, but then Zada off the bench after Patterson goes off. No one's guarding him. He gets a clear-cut breakaway.
Well, no one's thinking about it because Patterson's going off, and you're thinking the play's not going to come back this way that quickly. Look what happens.
D-zone face-off. The Wolves win it. Jen Skula will flick it to center. It's gloved down. Now Blake Clayton has it for Sudbury. Plays it back into his own zone for Trevor Odell as we approach the last minute of play here in period number 2. We're tied at 2s. Clayton up ice. Bottom of the left circle with a shot. That's blockered away by Yermolenko. Clearing attempt here comes to the line. Ula's able to keep it in. It'll be a hand pass if the Wolves touch it, but Niagara then touched it. Ula's able to find it and fire it behind the goal. Henderson onto it. Rowan Henderson carrying up near the blue line. Plays it across to Trevor Odell. He'll bank it wide intentionally. Karam's into the corner. Clayton there will sift one towards the goal, and Yermolenko calls fair catch. Holds on for a whistle.
So are the boys at the live stage going to take things over at the end of the second period? Should be interesting to hear their comments on this game in a 2-2 hockey game.
Period number 2 has been a lot more exciting than period number 1, that's for sure.
Don't forget, we're back at it on Sunday. I know there's lots of football going on, but you don't want to miss Ottawa and Sudbury beginning just after 2 o'clock. We'll have all the action right here from the arena, so
it's only
huge
one football
weekend.
Game on this weekend. That's Bears-Packers tomorrow night, right? I know the Bills play, but who cares about them? Here's Hovot. 2 Yules. One-timer coming here. That goes wide of the goal. Clearing attempt from Niagara was gloved down by Hovon. Puck goes up in the air towards the blue line. It's chipped out by Patterson, who's back on the ice for Niagara. Gonchar drops it for J.C. Lemieux. He'll try and get through neutral ice. He chips it in. Good collision between Lemieux and Patterson. Rough couple of shifts for Patterson here to end the frame, as the horn will go. After 2 periods of play, the Wolves and IceDogs are knotted up at 2s. Rick, thoughts on a definitely more entertaining period there?
Well, I'm glad to see that the Wolves got off to a good start, and again, they could have had a few more goals in this period, showing some offensive initiative. And again, things got a lot better with a 2-1 lead, and then some good scoring opportunities, and it could have been even better than that, but Niagara slips right back into it, and Wang scores. Good shot to beat Frasca. Frasca made some nice saves in that period, but we've got a 2-2 game heading into the third, so even the IceDogs have picked it up somewhat from the first, and again, they're back in contention. They couldn't have been that bad that long, so again, they had to wake up and finally get some offense going, but the Wolves playing some good hockey, so I've got to say, David, it's theirs to win here in the third period. I mean, they've shown me at least they've got the offensive initiative going, and it's just a matter of a break or two. Yarmolenko making some good saves too, but he can be beat.
Yeah, just quick scoring summary here. Rick provided the out-of-town scoreboard not too long ago, but here Jan Hovan tied the game, his 8th of the year on the power play from Lemieux and Nemec at 2:38. And how about Hudson Martin getting his first OHL goal at 4:56 from Hovan and Nemec? And then, as Rick just mentioned, Haoshi Wang tied the game, his 3rd of the year from Reisnecker and Galyanov at 16:16. Sending it over to Chimino and Associates at the live stage now.
The arena for the second intermission update here from the BTB live stage. We're here hanging with the Queen. You got myself, Alex Chimino, Tommy Vlaus to the right of me, Nathan Savage to the left of me. 2-2. Wolfers with a strong period here.
2-2 after 2.
2-2 after 2.
Bang. Wow.
Bang, bang,
okay.
bang.
Bang, bang.
We got a guy with eye paint on the ice right now.
You gotta love that. That's nails. That is nails. Tommy boy, a great second period from the Sudbury Wolves.
The Wolves are playing hard, man. We said this when we were watching the whole period.
This is a hungry hockey team.
Hungry hockey team, and that's the benefit of losing your top-end guys. Like, everyone's begging for that ice time that those guys had. Power play time, who's going to be on it? We saw the power play goal, Jan Chauvin. Power play looked a lot different, but they're a hungry team, man. Everyone's kind of involved, all 4 lines. The defense looked good. We've only given up 15 shots through 2 periods. When have we ever seen that?
Yeah, honestly,
covering a Wolves game, right? So far this year, they've always given up north of 20 through 2 periods. So they're playing well defensively, and honestly, the crowd's getting kind of into it, and I'm pretty satisfied with how they're playing so far.
Yeah, really like the hunger from this hockey team right now. Guys want ice, which you love to see. Poor Diener. How many chances that poor guy?
Yeah,
right in open net. I know, tough.
Yeah.
But his time will come. His time will come. He had a couple the last time we were around here.
Yeah.
But like you mentioned, Tom, Jan Chauvin, the power play is looking a lot different. Obviously, you lose Villeneuve and Walton on the flanks. They move Chauvin to the flank where he played on the World Junior. So a familiar spot for him, and he put it in the back of the net.
The patience was amazing there, and I think he went short side under the bar with a nice little screen in front. And I was just watching after the period ended. I like how engaged he is. He went right over to the linesman. You guys are going to laugh at this. It's something I used to do, begging for kind of tips with the face-offs. And he went to both of them asking, I guess some of the pucks were dropped unfairly. So he was asking for probably an explanation on what he can do better or how he can line up in a different way. Because, you know what, I just love to see that. It's basically his team in a way for the forward group now, right? Like, he's the next man up after all those guys leave. So he got on the score sheet with a nice goal there. He's trying to find ways to contribute. Like I mentioned, going to linesman, seeing how he can get himself involved in the face-off dot. So I just love to see that, the commitment from him now. Yeah. It's not like he wasn't committed before, but it's kind of like he's taking on that bigger role. So I love to see that.
Definitely. Mace, your thoughts?
I thought we were winning the battles. Like, at one point, Coughlin was down here in this corner. One of the best moments I've seen, too, from this team this year. Yeah. He's pinned, stuck against the boards, and he's looking at the fans. He can't do anything. He can't move. So he's just looking around, and probably 30 seconds. One time I probably should have had my phone out, but you guys weren't here. You were down getting a little snack, I think. And that was one of my favorite moments from the second period. So Coughlin looks good. He still is he a skill guy? Is he a grit guy? Like, what is he right now?
I think he's trying to find his identity now, right? It's basically, I mentioned Chauvin's team. It's Coughlin's team as well, right? Being an OA.
As the vet,
he's got to find kind of that role when he first entered the Wolves, right? He was hitting everything that he was seeing, getting in on the forecheck. He wasn't trying to do too much skill stuff. The skill stuff came after all the hitting and forechecking that he was doing, right? So he's got to find that identity again. I'm sure it's going to come up hopefully soon for him.
Yeah, I think so. I think Cogs, especially near the start, like you mentioned, Tom, he's playing with that jam, right? That jam. We're missing that right now. And I think it will come. And a guy that's going to be a leader on this team, a guy that could potentially be the next captain of this team, right? So it's big for sure. Let's talk about Niagara, boys. Your thoughts, obviously, Wang, their newest pickup, scored there, and then obviously Chromiak, who wasn't here not too long ago with the Kitchener Rangers, here with the Niagara IceDogs as well. So yeah, your thoughts on Niagara, Tom?
2 plays I noticed. You mentioned Chromiak. There's a minute left here in the second period. It was a 2-2 game, obviously. He made it stretch pass to someone that was coming off the Niagara bench for a breakaway. So really nice pass there from him, stretching the ice out. Obviously, kudos to Frasca for making that save, for keeping this 2-2. But you mentioned that D-man. He's great. San Jose draft pick, second rounder. Kind of a weird trade because Niagara was, obviously, they traded Kevin He to Flint. They were basically the same position as the Wolves. They kind of 90% sold, right?
Yeah.
And they made this trade to get this guy. He's young though too, so he's likely back next year as well. So obviously they see a lot in him. He's playing every situation possible for them, and you know what? Just kind of similar to the Wolves, a young, exciting team, and obviously they will be a playoff team. They got to try pretty hard not to make the playoffs now. I think they're in the 6th in the East, so they'll be there. They'll contend, and kind of a retooling year for them with selling most of their key guys.
I think a great home game to fall back on for the Wolves is one where it's evenly matched, right? Where in terms of, like you mentioned, Tom, these 2 teams are kind of in the same spot, looking at that little retool and rebuild. Definitely. So I think it's a great showcase. And listen, I think from what I've seen these last 2 periods, I think the Wolves can easily make the playoffs, either in the 8th or 7th spot, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. And you never know in playoff hockey.
Anything happens.
Anything can happen. I know everyone's going to say you're the 7-8 seed. You're going to play Ottawa, Brantford, or a combination of them, or even Barrie. Likely it won't work out in your favor, but you never know. The longer you extend the series, the longer you get into playoff hockey. You got a hot goalie in Frasca. We know he's very good, and he can see north of 40 saves and get you in. So the Wolves just got to get to the dance, and you never know what can happen.
4-3-5, Palo, Frasca. Guys, Frasca's looked great once again.
Yes.
He's out and out number 1. I'm going to say my opinion again. How many times have I said that?
Ride him now.
And how many times have we been on the stage saying, can any of these 5 guys just grab the net? Like, grab the net and take it. The coaching staff was begging for someone to be their number 1, and I think they found it at Frasca.
Absolutely. What a nice little story there. Nice little pickup, too, from Windsor. Was playing in the BCHL. Unreal. Great to see. And
how old is he?
He is in 06, so potential to be in 08 next year. He's committed somewhere. It has escaped me where he's committed for school. But definitely looked great and has a great fit in the Wolves lineup and in the OHL. Has proven himself hand over fist.
For sure. He definitely belongs in this league.
And then I think the backup spot, Top, and Mason, I think, is really still up for grabs between Bronis and Chartier. Someone's going to have to step up and come in relief for Frasca. He can't play all the games. So
they're what, both 06s?
Bronas is an 07.
Bronas is an 07. So would it be nice to see a tandem that we're familiar with for a couple of years? I feel like we haven't seen that in a while for the Wolfers. We see kind of new goalies all the time here. Yeah.
The last number 1 was Ukko.
Yeah.
Like an out and out number 1.
Now, I mean, I don't know if Paolo Frasca is a UPL. No. Maybe a Frankie Palazzese fellow Italian. Frankie Palazzese was a legend here when the Wolfers traded.
Or Ale Valiquette.
Yeah, there you go. Al Valiquette, I like that. Wears 29 as well, so great shout there.
I didn't find anything about Frasca committed, by the way.
Okay. I might be out to lunch on that.
Okay. Maybe it's just not out yet and you just know more than I do.
Don't come to us for all OHL news, folks.
I don't want to bury you, but it's not out there.
Yeah, okay. There we go.
Per Elite Prospects, nothing's committed.
Nothing's committed? Okay, maybe I was wrong then.
Okay.
Oh, you know what? Maybe it's Bronis that's committed.
It is. Bronis is committed.
He is committed. All right, I slonked everyone there. My bad.
That's okay.
My bad. All right, we're here. We're live.
It's a new year.
Yeah. Okay, fellas, let's take a look at a couple other trades here in the OHL. Tom, what was your thoughts on that Sam O'Reilly trade?
Man, what a luxury London has. They're, I think, sitting 4th or 5th in the West, and they traded their best forward and their best
biggest rival.
To their biggest rival.
What do you think about that?
But they got the best return they probably could have got. Right? They're not a stupid organization over there with retooling. Right? They're still going to make the playoffs. They still might even get home ice, finishing 4th. And you got a whole lot of draft capital back for the years to come.
Yeah.
They basically looked at it and said, hey, we've been champions the last couple of years, or contending the last couple of years. This could be the year we don't win. Let's retool our guys, because O'Reilly is definitely not there next year, and I believe Woolley, he was an LA Kings draft pick. I don't think he's going to be returning either. So they probably looked at it and said, hey, let's gain as much as we can back and take a run in the next couple of years.
Yeah, definitely. A couple other moves, boys.
But good for Kitchener, though.
Yeah.
They got 12 NHL draft picks on their team now.
Yeah.
How many do we have? One
now with Gonchar. So you have a dozen draft picks on that team. And what have I said? The formula is as many as you can get, right? That are just high-end talented guys, and hopefully they can make a run. And that arena in the playoffs will be bumping.
Our northern counterparts, just 3.5 hours from here, the Sioux Greyhounds fellas are all in once again. They're getting Brady Martin back from the World Juniors. We know the injury is not as serious. Kluche's coming back as well
from school.
Massive
from school.
And
a major trade.
School? Yeah. He left school.
That's one of the first I think we've seen happen.
And now that's a huge gray area, because I'm not 100% certain on this, but if the Wolves were contending and Muse was healthy and he wasn't maybe getting as much playing time with Michigan, you might have seen him come back as well.
Wouldn't that have been wild? He's out for the year with an ACL.
So it's a gray area, but Kluche, I forget where he was playing. Not the best opportunity for him because he's a rookie, coming here to be the man now with the Sioux. Because the Sioux's contending.
So they're going to need to figure that one out.
Yeah.
Because if we start seeing mass exodus from NCAA back to here, it's like that guy in the NBA, or he got drafted to the NBA, is going to play college ball right now. Like, at what point are you now ineligible for the OHL?
No, definitely. It's going to be interesting to see how that dynamic plays out. But the Sioux, like I mentioned, made a massive trade, fellas. Obviously, that Fisher trade came way before the new year. Carter George coming from Owen Sound, fellas, for a slew of picks. 3 seconds, 2/3, and 2/4 coming back for Carter George. The Sioux doesn't have to give up a player, and they get their out-and-out number one.
Yes, and so confirming with Cloutier, he was playing for Arizona State University, only statted here for 4 games.
Okay,
so 4 games, going on there. 4 games, no points. Probably, it's tough, man. Arizona State's a good program. Probably not getting the ice time he was hoping for. He had 54 points last year with the Sioux. They had to make room for him because he was an OA. Right. So I'm not sure what their roster was before. I think they might have had 1 spot left and hope that he was coming back. But you mentioned that trade. They got a goalie now. They got Brady Martin, his 5th overall in Nashville. They got forwards. They got Kluche obviously coming back. They have Reed, who we saw live on the back end.
Unbelievable.
He's going to be a top 10 pick.
Him and Fisher, man, is exciting.
He's going to be a top 10 pick in the NHL this year. So they got everything at every position. It's just if you can put it together. And that West isn't easy, but they got the right pieces for it.
Definitely.
As a Northern pod, we got to be excited for them.
No, I totally agree.
Fair talk.
Yeah.
Okay, fellas. Well, let me ask you guys: who do you guys now, after the trade deadline's over, who do you guys have coming out of the East and the West?
Yeah, I said on the show, and if everyone listened to the pod this week, I said if Kieran Walden went to Barrie, they would have been my front runners, just because I like how their team was built. I just still think they're missing maybe one more elite scorer. So, I mean, you can't just count out the Brantford Bulldogs in the East, man. No. I saw their lineup combination tonight. I think they got 4 of their 6 defense are drafted. They got Malhotra, who's having a really good rookie year. They got Jet Luchenko, who they traded for as well. Like, they're just so loaded at every position. And Ned Ryerson Leanders, who they traded for last summer.
Traded the house for.
Traded the mortgage and the house. So
we saw that kid play. What team was he on? Steelheads?
Yeah, it was Mississauga at the time.
Yeah, so he's one of the best goalies in the OHL. And so I got Brantford.
And the West.
Ooh, you can't discount Kitchener.
What about Flint?
The inexperience with them, I just don't think they got it. Like, they did a lot of good moves, but my pick will honestly be Windsor. I like they got Figabar? Figabar. Seattle draft pick. Alphabet. Seattle draft pick, friends with Bill Dove. They did the right pieces, in my opinion. And we talked to Homer. They got a great facility.
Hot tub, steam room.
First class staff, great arena. Fans will be bumping. First in the West. I got to go with Windsor.
Okay. Mace.
In the East, I don't know. I liked what I saw from Barrie. Aitchison looks great. He had good World Juniors, not the strongest showing, but I think anyone coming back from that tournament, like we're seeing on our ice right now, anyone coming back from that tournament's going to have a little pep in their step, seeing what the best guys can do out there. So I like Barrie out of the East. You guys just sold me on the Sioux. Like, they're stacked at all the positions, and honestly, watching George play or practice at the World Junior camp when I was there, he's legit. And I know he didn't steal the crease with Canada this year. It was again a stacked crease, but alternating back and forth. But now he knows what it takes. He was the starting goalie last year. You can't ask for more in terms of putting together a defense core like you guys just talked about with that backstopper. And it'd be nice to see the Sioux go on a run. Maybe we go down to the Sioux for a game.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Sioux Barrie, we're right in the middle.
And Sioux fans were begging for a goalie because they didn't think they had enough to win the West, and they got their goalie. They got it. What do you think?
Tom, I'm going to ride with you. That's what I was going to go with. Without a doubt, it's Brantford out of the East. When push comes to shove, at the end of the day, playoffs, that team, you need the depth for playoffs, and they got it. Now, people are saying, well, they didn't go and get another 08. They don't need another 08. So I think it's Brantford, push come to shove. I think Ottawa will give them a hard time, but it's going to be Brantford easily for me. And I'm going to go Windsor. I am going to go Windsor.
It's like,
I want to go see Villeneuve and Ferron win. 100%. That's kind of my gut feeling right now. They're loaded as well. Fibberger, like you said, and Belshitz, Green Tree, like, it's a great team. But I will say that West playoff is going to be fun to watch. I mean, both sides is going to be great.
We mentioned Kitchener, 12 NHL draft picks on their team, so they will be no joke, no pushover either.
100%. All right, quickly, Tom, your keys for the Wolfers here.
Use the home ice to your advantage here. I mean, the young guys are going to have tons of opportunity, like we mentioned, and see if you. Basically, it's next goal win. So see if you can get that next one.
I think it's going to be a 5-4 final. I think we're getting an overtime game. I think.
Mace went from 2-1 to 5-4.
No, just the game's opening up a bit. You're seeing the stretch passes come through. We almost had one. D-men are looking up, and I think it's going to be a 5-4 game overtime. And Henderson to win it.
Henderson.
I like it. For me,
Diener,
just go win it, period. Adam Nemec to win it, and we're going to send it off to Dave Bowen and Rick Wyman right now. We'll see you later.
Welcome back inside the Sudbury Community Arena. Shout out to Trimino and Associates for covering the intermission. David Bowen and Rick Wyman here. Rick, just wanted to let you know that our broadcast is worldwide, actually. My mother is in Arizona right now, the lucky girl in the warm weather tuning in, so I thought I'd shout her out quick. 2-2 between the Wolves and the IceDogs. Rick, you said it before the intermission. The Wolves created the better looks, especially in period number 2, and this new look team has got a great opportunity to get 2 points here in the third.
Well, I'm seeing a lot of good things offensively, especially Hoban and Lemieux and guys trying to make things happen, Nebich as well. So let's see if this transpires into the third period. So David, to your mother in Arizona, certainly hope you're enjoying the climate, and it's getting kind of cooler over here, but that's okay. We can live with the consequences.
Away we go. Period number 3 underway. Puck dumped into the Wolves zone. Gavin Yules up the wall to Ethan Dean. He'll bank it out. Won't be icing as it rolls to the goaltender Galyanov. He plays it up the wall. Dean is there and he fires towards the goal. That's kicked away by Galyanov. Rebound controlled by Ryan Robrick for Niagara. He'll skate it up ice. Robrick over the Wolves line. He'll chip it into the corner. Him and Gavin Yules have a good battle. Comes up to the blue line now. Aoshi Wang to Riley Patterson. Long shot, tipped, they score! Tipped in front by Ryerson Edgar. And once again, Niagara has the lead. It's 3-2.
Little bit of congestion in front of the goal, and again, as you called it, with a tip in front, thought that Frasca might have had a handle on it, but it didn't quite work out that way. So now Niagara with a couple of players there. The tip, and it's a 3-2 hockey game. So the Dogs have come back, taking a big bite out of the Wolves here early in the third period.
Wolves will counter with their top line now. New look top line of Hovod, Nemitz, and Lemieux. They win the face-off. Trevor Odell with it. Over to Lemieux. He'll chip it by him in. He gets taken down, and it's going to be a penalty here against Niagara. And pardon me, that wasn't Lemieux. It was another newcomer, Jens Ula, who draws that power play for the Wolves.
I could have called that tripping penalty. That was that obvious to everyone else here in the rink. So again, the Wolves back on the power play. We've been fortunate, not many penalties, knock on wood, but we'll see what happens here early in the third period if the Wolves can tie things up with the man advantage.
Scored on the power play back in the second. That was Jan Hovan. He'll dig in for the face-off. He'll win it. Nemitz to the point for Gonchar. Now Lemieux near circle. JC Lemieux walking in. Gets it to Nemitz. He tries to get a shot on goal. That went wide. Battle for it in the far corner now. It squirts loose, and Lemieux will keep it in. Lemieux to Jan Hovan. He's got his chin strap unbuckled. He doesn't care. He's still going. Down low to Berehowski. Berehowski kicks it up high for Nemitz. Niagara bench is arguing about this. Here's Hovan with the chin strap flying around. He gives it away, and Patterson will send it the length of the ice.
I thought that if the chin strap became loose, you had to go to your bench.
I think that's what Chris Barch and company were arguing for the IceDogs as Hovan straps the buckle back on. Berehowski in over the line. He got taken down hard. Rims it around the boards. Nemitz keeps it in, but turns it over, and it's sent the length of the ice there by Ben Reisnecker. Chance maybe shorthanded here. Smith centering in front. That missed Galyanov. So 54 seconds left on the Wolves power play. They're changing units here. Londa will scoop it up behind the net. Race it up ice. Ahead to Carter Kostic. Kostic, toe drag move, got it over the line. Kostic sending it in front. Coughlin chipped it wide. Reisnecker fanned on the clearing attempt. Provorov picks his pocket. Centers in front. Kostic shot stopped. Another penalty coming here to Niagara. Kostic is down in a heap of pain. He's getting back to his feet now.
Yeah, he got dumped in front of the net. So again, another player going off.
5-on-3 power play now for the Wolves for 33 seconds. It is Zada.
Interesting breakout by the Sudbury Wolves. Puck has left behind the net. You've got two guys breaking, including the defenseman coming out the left side, breaking up towards center ice and whatever. So a little bit of a innovative breakout pattern for the Sudbury Wolves on that, trying something different to get something going here. And the face-off deep in the Niagara zone. We'll see what transpires here with not one but two guys in the box for Sudbury to take advantage of to tie this hockey game.
Yeah, Wolves had a 5-on-3 power play in the Sioux when they were trying to get back into it. They were unable to convert. See if they can make amends here. Right off the draw, it's tied up behind the net. Now centered in front, JC Lemieux walking in. His shot is stopped there by Yermolenko.
That was a great, nice block there to prevent that game from being tied, but Lemieux with all kinds of time.
Here come the Wolves back up ice after a clear. Berehowski dropping for Lemieux near the blue line. Saucer pass Gonchar, middle of the ice. Walking in. Defers to Hovan. Hovan to Gonchar, one-timer. Oh, kick save and a beauty by Yermolenko. Here's Lemieux firing. That goes high and wide. 5-on-4 now. Gonchar with it near the blue line. Wolves looking for the equalizer here. Gonchar shooting one towards goal. That goes just wide. He's trying to bank it in off Berehowski. Hovan far circle, middle of the ice, Nemitz. Now Gonchar with a one-timer. That was blocked in front. Hovan falls to the ice, and now Alexander Hage will lift it the length of the ice for Niagara.
Have you noticed that Yermolenko has a tendency to sprawl all over the place? He'll even turn his head on the puck in some cases, not knowing where the puck is. But again, net's off, and face-off will come back into the Niagara zone. But Yermolenko quite fortunate.
Yep. The net was off, and Yermolenko wasn't going to do the Wolves any favors and noted putting it back on himself, obviously, with the Wolves on the power play. Face-off. The refs are discussing where this face-off should go. The puck was in the Wolves zone when the whistle was blown, but the net came off, obviously, while the Wolves were attacking in the O zone. So they'll have a discussion about this, and face-off's going to come all the way back into the Wolves zone.
I thought at least they might drop it at center ice, but again, okay, that's where the play stops, so it comes back. And the face-off to Frasca's left. 16 and a half to go here in the third period.
Wolves down by a goal, 50 seconds left on the power play. Hovan will dig in against Galyanov on the face-off. Face-off won by Jan Hovan. Gonchar will start the breakout. Artem Gonchar fakes the drop back pass. Got it to Hovan. He'll tip it back for Lemieux. Lemieux will carry it over the line. Lemieux near corner, now around back of the goal. Glove flies off one of the hands of the IceDogs, but a giveaway here from the Wolves. Galyanov gives it right back. Coughlin with some good work. Coughlin over the line. He'll return the favor and turn it over, and Galyanov will send it the length of the ice. Wolves power play about to expire, 15 seconds left. Gonchar up ice. Drops it for Adam Nemitz. Nemitz to Hovan over the line. Cross ice feed. Coughlin in the slot. His shot stopped. The rebound loose. Nemitz couldn't get a handle on it.
Nice setup.
Out of the box comes Ethan Zada. We're back to 5-on-5. Patterson with it for Niagara. Up ice for Hayden Reed. Reed over the line. He's checked by Gonchar. Gonchar will move the puck up ice here for J.C. Lemieux. Lemieux over the blue line. Left it for Gonchar. Gonchar taken off of it by Hayden Reed. And away goes Zada up ice. Zada trying to get to the middle. Leaves it for Patterson. Patterson had it roll off his stick. Goes into the corner. Zada trying to cycle. Clayton able to work that up the wall for the Wolves, and Lemieux will just bank it to center. He'll head to the bench for a change. Niagara back with it. Ryan Robrick. He'll carry it in. Trying to take it wide on Brady Smith. He backhands one high, wide of the goal. Goes into the corner. Teams will joust for it now. Yules and Robrick, who have been jousting this third period. Robrick throws it in front. Oh, big save by Frasca on Patterson. Puck near the blue line. It squirts out to center. Haoshi Wang will pull it back into the Niagara zone. Feed it up ice for Edgar. He's got the icebreaker here in the third for Niagara. Robrick with it now. Tried to cycle for Edgar. Hopped over his stick into the far corner. Patterson throws it in front. Robrick got a chance. That was kicked away by Frasca. Comes to the blue line. Chromiak. Down low for Robrick. Robrick back to the point. Here's Wang with it. Had it roll off his stick. Comes out into the neutral zone. He'll give it over to Chromiak. Chromiak will dump it in. Two Wolves go flying into the boards trying to check Chromiak. As the puck comes all the way around the boards back out into the neutral zone. Edgar over to Chromiak. He'll fire it back in. Reed first onto it for Niagara. Down low for Edgar. Edgar near corner. Coming up the half wall. Cycles down low for Reed. Now Hull behind the net. Takes it into the far corner. Good shift for Niagara here. Provorov runs into him. Blonda gets taken down. Provorov trying to get the puck. It's bouncing around in the corner. Kicked out into the slot. Henderson will pick it up for Sudbury and just float it out of the zone. Won't have enough for icing. Picked up by Ben Reisnecker behind the net. On to the near wing for Delauchi. Long shoot-in is on goal, so no icing. Blonda will rim it up the glass. Hopped over the stick of Delauchi. Back into the Niagara zone. Delauchi tried to bank it off the wall and out. Bennett kept it in for a moment, but Hull's able to play ahead, and now a 2-on-1 for Niagara. It's Reed and Hull. Hull in the slot. Back to Reed. He's in. Oh no, his backhander rolled off his stick and went wide. Hull into the high slot. A one-timer here from Wang. He fanned on it. Now Edgar spinning to the net. That's blocked by Blonda. Blonda is able to chip it out of the Wolves zone.
Breakdown by the Wolves almost too costly here at this point of the game.
Yep. Giveaway by Niagara. Trevor Odell will get the red line and flick it in. Haoshi Wang back in his own zone. To Ray Smith. Pass ahead. Missed Galyanov. Race for it now between Ula and Doherty. Ula picks it up. Cycles behind the Wolves goal for Odell. Up the boards for Lemieux. Couldn't quite hang on to it. Niagara with it. Wang. Pass ahead. Smith. Lost it here to Jan Hovan. 12 minutes and 18 seconds left in the third. Hovan hits the red line and dumps it in. Galyanov out of the goal to play it. He'll rim it up the boards. Doherty will scoop it up. He'll play it up ice. That's well out of the reach of Smith. Could be icing. It will be as Ulo wins the race.
Niagara has been able to turn it on offensively the last couple of minutes, looking for a break. They almost had one to make it 4-2. A 3-2 lead with 12 minutes to go here in period number 3. Good crowd for a Friday night. Don't forget, we're back at it again Sunday at 2. Ottawa comes to town. 67s, of course, one of the teams that loaded up to try to compete with Brantford. Now that Brantford has their lineup intact, back with the team, we'll see that team trying to regain the lead in the OHL's Eastern Conference, but the 67s actually grabbed the lead while several key players were gone to the World Junior Championship. So everyone's back to normal now. We'll see what happens here as we continue in the second half of the OHL season.
Yeah, Zach Hyman and his brother wasted no time trying to compete for an OHL championship. Obviously, Zach, NHL player, played with the Leafs, now plays with the Oilers. He purchased the Brantford Bulldogs over the summer, and his brother took over the general manager role.
Kind of like the Hunters.
Yes, and you go up and down that Brantford Bulldogs lineup, I don't think there's a guy on it that isn't drafted or is going to be drafted. Back to action here. Wolves down a goal. Just under 12 minutes left in the third. Henderson has it, walking in the middle row, and Henderson's shot goes off a skate and wide. Now Gonchar from distance. That's kicked away by Yermolenko. Clayton in the corner. Tried to get it up for Henderson. Henderson couldn't tap it to Gonchar, and it's floated out of the zone by Niagara. Clayton up ice for Coughlin. Coughlin over the line. Sending it down low for Henderson. He's tied up with his man. Trying to help out is Gavin Ewells, who's activated from the point. Couldn't hang on to it. Tiller has it behind the Niagara net now. Plenty of time for him as the Wolves will head for a change. Wolves out shooting the IceDogs 26-17. And a goal from Ryerson Edgar, not even a minute into the third, has the Wolves chasing the game. Now in the Wolves zone. Trying to get to it, Hayden Reed. Cycles for Zada. Now Hage to the blue line. Tiller over to Reed. A long shot here goes high and wide. Spencer will follow up. He'll play it into the far corner. Hayden Reed cycles in behind the goal. Alexander Hage taken down by Odell. No call. Zada scoops it up. He's pinched there by Brady Smith. Good check by Smith. Provorov gets taken down, and that's going to be a penalty call against Niagara. So a penalty for Alexander Hage. 200 feet from his own net. He's going to get a tripping call. And the Wolves once again get a power play try and tie the game up here in the third.
There's not even an argument here. That was just a sloppy penalty, and Hage will get the gate. No argument here whatsoever. I don't know what his point is, but he's going to say that they probably collided, just got tied up in each other, but no. That's 3 straight penalties for Niagara here in this period, and if there isn't a better time than right now for the Wolves to tie things up, then when is it?
Exactly.
It's one of those things. So, face-off. Yarmolenko's right, deep in the zone, and the Wolves need some action here with 10.5 to go.
Jan Hovan wins the draw back to Gonchar. He'll walk the line. Feed it to Hovan. He'll walk in and shoot, and Yermolenko got just a piece of that. Nemitz works it back up top. Lemieux will scoop it up middle of the ice. Lemieux gets it over to Hovan, far circle. Into the corner, Berehowski. Back to Hovan, middle of the ice, Nemitz. Now Lemieux from distance. That stopped the rebound loose, and Yermolenko, with the help of Reisnecker, gets control of it and holds for a whistle.
Okay, so good opportunity there for the Wolves.
25 seconds gone by on the penalty to Alexander Hage.
We've got some key guns out there. Lemieux manning the point of the power play here.
That's one difference. Mario definitely wasn't up there.
I like that. Someone's got to take the...
Yeah, here's Gonchar walking in, shooting. He whistled it just wide. Battle in the corner for it now. Rolls in behind the goal. Nemitz and Berehowski trying to get it, along with Lemieux. Tiller content to just eat it along the boards. Comes loose. Nemitz worked it to Hovan, and Hovan couldn't get it back to the point. It's cleared by Galyanov.
I was about to say someone's got to take the initiative here and jump into the play and take charge in terms of the offense. I mean, you're missing a lot of firepower with Walton and Villeneuve and Ferrand gone now. Who's going to step up and be the guy?
Here's Adam Nemitz carrying up ice. Got it to Berhowski, but he couldn't get it by Spencer. Sent back into the Wolves zone. J.C. Lemieux, pass up ice to Hovan. Hovan chips it in. Berhowski gloves it down. Could be a hand pass here against Sudbury, and it will be. And then Lemieux, after the whistle, takes a rough collision there with Ethan Zada. And Lemieux is slow to his feet. Still down in the far corner. Now he's working his way back up. That seemed to catch him in the knee, Rick.
Yeah, he's had a few injuries playing with Windsor and hobbling off here. We'll have to let the training staff have a look, but
yeah, that especially when you're not braced for contact, that's when bad things can happen. Lemieux is going to stay on the Wolves bench for now, which is a good sign, but we'll monitor that. Nevertheless, the second unit will come out now for the Wolves. 30 seconds left on this power play try. Here's Vladimir Provorov. He'll carry over the line. Provorov into the slot. Missed Coughlin. Now Bennett collects. Into the middle, Carter Kostic will shoot. That stop. Coughlin behind the net, trying the wraparound. It bounced in front, but gets cleared into the corner. And now cleared by Haoshi Wang for Niagara. Here's Luka Blonda. Power play about to expire. Blonda over the line to Kostic. Kostic sends one towards the goal. That's kicked away by Yermolenko. Kostic again. That one's tipped wide by Coughlin. Back to 5-on-5. That's 3 power plays here for the Wolves in the third to try and tie it. Niagara's killed all of them. Still 3-2 now with 8:15 left in the third. Puck dumped into the Wolves zone. Now work to the blue line. Here's Haoshi Wang. He'll shoot it wide intentionally, looking for the carom in front. He almost got it. Good play by Ula to scoop that up for the Wolves. Over to Luka Blonda. Blonda will just float it into the neutral zone. Wolves need a change. Chromiak will bring it back behind his own goal for Niagara.
Number 1 next week at practice, start working on that power play.
Yeah, scored their first try here tonight, but Niagara has done a pretty good job after that as Robrick chips it in. Odell, far corner. Trying to get it up the wall. Henderson was checked by Robrick. Now they battle for it along the boards in the far corner. Puck comes loose for a moment. Odell will scoop it up ahead for Rowan Henderson. Henderson will skate it up ice. Henderson over the blue line. Henderson near corner, around back of the goal. Far corner now. He's doing an entire lap of the Niagara zone. Now he's got some space. He'll send it to the net, and Yermolenko able to make the save and hold on for a whistle for Niagara.
I like your apt description, taking an entire lap. He gets the shot away and face off again in the Niagara zone. What's your mother's name that's in Arizona?
Janine, yes. Janine is listening in Arizona. Also with her, my good old Uncle Barry listening to the game as well. So shout out to
we welcome
Barry
them. We welcome them. It's great to have out-of-country listeners to tonight's game. And Janine, you can be very proud of your son.
No, enough.
I've worked with him now for a couple of seasons, and it's always a pleasure to work with David.
20 degrees and sunshine in Arizona, Rick.
I can handle that right now. Did she play golf at all?
Oh, she plays. Yeah.
Well, there you go. Maybe a round or two of golf tomorrow.
7:14 left in the third here. 3-2 Niagara still. Face-off won by the IceDogs, and Tiller sends it the length of the ice, but it was deflected, so no icing. Hudson Martin over to Gavin Yules. Long pass up ice, deflects to Jan Hovan. Hovan over the line. Hovan stops at the near circle, tried to send it to the net. That goes off a stick. Up out of play for a whistle.
Did you tell your mother that you were actually doing games with the CTV weather guy?
Oh, I'm sure she's well aware, Rick. I mean, everyone here knows who you are. They're all stopping by, asking for pictures and autographs. They're like, who's this kid standing beside you? So,
listen, you're my role model.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Well, at least you did an NHL
You're my
game.
role model.
I never did an NHL game. At least you have done an NHL game.
All right, I'll take that.
The best
Sure.
I could do is the AHL. I'm sorry.
Well, we got OHL action here right now. The Wolves trying to get back into it. Good forecheck here, but the puck bounces out into the neutral zone. Here's Hudson Martins. The Wolves try and bring it up ice. Niagara content to just play the trap game now. They're doing a good job of that. Wolves forced to dump it in. Chromiak behind the goal. Got it to Robrick. He'll rim it around the boards. It's picked up here by Hayden Reed. He'll skate it up ice, hit the red line, and bounce it in. Reed's first onto it in the far corner. It's tied up by Gavin Yules. Good check by the Wolves' overage defenseman there.
And they're still tied up in the corner. Oh, there's a cheap shot there.
Now the Wolves will bring it up ice. Hovan didn't like what he saw, and he brought it back into the Wolves zone. Niagara wanted too many men, but no call. Call it even. Hovan will dump it in. Berehowski's the only one chasing after it for the Wolves. Easy breakout here. Tiller will bring it up ice for Niagara. Just missed the check of Provorov. Got it to Robrick. Cross ice feed. Doherty will find it in the corner. Send it to the net. That deflected en route. Good save by Frasca. Provorov up ice. Maybe 3-on-2 for the Wolves. Provorov over the line. He's trying to send it in front for Bennett. It rolls in behind the net. Now in the near corner, they'll battle for it. Berehowski pinned to the boards by Spencer. Puck comes free for Tiller behind the net. Now Tiller will just fire it off the glass and out. Wolves in their own zone. Once again, there's 5 IceDogs to try and bring it up ice. As Gonchar will leave it for Braden Bennett. Bennett gets to the red line and backhands one in. Provorov trying to get to it. Tiller there first. Up the boards, and it's chipped out of the zone by Doherty. It would have been icing, and it won't be apparently, as Smith apparently had the edge on Ula. That was close. They joust away for it. It comes free, and Ula will scoop it up. Jens Ula. Pass up ice for Coughlin. Coughlin with Henderson going to the goal. Coughlin, curl and drag, he shoots. It goes off the side of the goal. Fans thought it went in. It hit the meshing behind the net. Here's Clayton with it near the blue line. He'll feed it in behind the goal. Rowan Henderson tied up there with Spencer. Coughlin trying to help him out. Now Clayton had it knocked away from him, and Hage will skate it ahead. He'll find Ray Smith, and Smith will just dump it in. Niagara's really not looking to score another goal. They are content playing the trap game here. Wolves up ice. Henderson can't get in over the line. He's stood up there nicely by Hao-Shi Wang.
And there's always that inherent danger when you're playing not to lose, David. That
right.
Stranger things have happened.
Blonda to Jan Hovan. Hovan blew a tire. Blonda's there to get the puck back. He'll bank it up ice. Hovan finds it. Nice feed here for J.C. Lemieux. Good to see him back on the ice. Over to Hudson Martin. Martin behind the goal. Lemieux rims it up around the boards to the blue line. Blonda. He'll chip it down low. Lemieux centering in front looking for Hovan. Just out of the reach of Hovan there. Now Niagara, chance to get it out. Lemieux kept it in. It's gloved down now by Chromiak. He'll get it out. The IceDogs once again happy to get the red line and just dump it in and head for a change. 3 minutes, 15 seconds left here in the third. The Wolves are down by a goal. It's 3-2 IceDogs. Blonda chips it in. Clayton trying to forecheck. Tiller flicks it right out. It's not going to have enough for icing. At what point does Paulo Frasca head for the extra attacker here for the Wolves? Now under 3 minutes. Gonchar over to Yules. Oh, Coughlin ran into his man. Lucky there's no call there. Yules over the line. He lost the puck, and it's cleared by the IceDogs. You can hear the Niagara bench hollering for an interference call there, and don't necessarily disagree with them. Clayton up ice for Henderson. Over the line. Tiller knocked it off of his stick. They'll battle for it in the corner. Clayton in there as well, along with Riley Patterson for Niagara. He got it to Robrick. Now Spencer. Now maybe a chance for Niagara. Patterson over the line, walking right in, but he couldn't get a shot away, and there's going to be a penalty here.
Sudbury penalty.
Chase Coughlin is going to get a hooking call, and Patterson went flying into the boards, and the IceDogs trainer is right off the bench. That was a loud collision into the boards there for Riley Patterson.
And that's twice that Patterson has been hit tonight. The first time inadvertently in the center ice area and now into the boards.
So first and foremost, the health and safety of Riley Patterson, our main concern. Looks like he's getting back to his feet. But with 2:18 left in the third, obviously not an ideal time for the Wolves to take a penalty down by a goal. Because now you're hoping to play 5-on-5 if you pull the goalie, as Patterson will skate to the bench with no assistance, which is a good sign.
A few bumps and bruises here in the third period for both sides. So again, sometimes it's the survival of the fittest that enables someone to score the victory. But again, Niagara up 3-2 late in the third period, 2:18 to go.
And that old hockey saying, Rick, goals that happen within the first minute of a period and the last minute of a period always seem to bite you. Well,
we've seen that happen too often this season, and
seen it again here right now. The IceDogs, Ryerson Edgar scored less than a minute into the third, and that lead has lasted the whole way now until just 2:18 left on the clock, and now the Wolves in a really tough spot, short-handed, with 2:18 left, down by a goal.
Well, in the annals of broadcast history, you'll notice yourself and Joe as well, and I've seen countless games where it's almost, you almost dread seeing someone score in the first or last minute of the play, because too often it turns the tables, and it's just one of those things that happens in the game.
So this will be interesting. Does Niagara play to score at all on this power play, or do they just play to keep the puck away from the Wolves?
Don't be passive. Just do what you have to do and try and get another one. Try to get an insurance marker here.
Chromiak to Robrick. He'll fire. It's blocked in front. Loose puck comes to the blue line. Chromiak over to Riley Patterson, who is okay. Back to the point. Chromiak down to Patterson. Cross ice feed. A great chance here. Oh, Frasca, a huge save on Edgar to keep the Wolves in it for now.
They set up some good perimeter passing. And the faceoff moving over this time to Frasca's right.
Yeah, Edgar kind of dusted that off for a second. That allowed Frasca time to get over there. Off the draw, the Wolves will get it and clear it the length of the ice. Chromiak with it behind the Niagara net. The Wolves kind of have to be aggressive here, obviously, down by a goal. Chromiak content to just keep it behind the net. You have to chase him behind the net. I know you're not supposed to on the PK, but now Lemieux does. Took down Chromiak, no call there. IceDogs wanted it. Edgar now just playing keep away, and he gave it away. Lemieux walking in. He'll fire. It's kicked away by Yermolenko. Tried to cycle below the goal. I was looking over for Frasca, but he didn't head for the extra attacker. Now Niagara back with it. They're really just playing keep away. Chromiak parked behind his net. As we reach 60 seconds left here in the third. Long pass up ice. Edgar at the Wolves' blue line. Edgar take it into the corner. Comes loose. Zada with it. He gets plastered there by Ula. Comes to the line. Patterson sends it in behind the goal. The Wolves need to find a way to get possession of the puck. Henderson will do so. You got to get the goaltender to the bench. Away he goes. Henderson doing his best to keep possession. He gets taken down.
Nothing there.
Fans wanted a call. They don't get one.
Wow.
Wolves got the goalie to the bench. So now it's 5-on-5. Here's Edgar to Robrick. He's got a wide open net, and Blonda fell over. He'll race it right to the net and put it home.
After Henderson gets tripped up in the neutral zone, puck comes back down, and Niagara with the icing on the cake. 4-2 now after the empty netter.
And obviously Henderson barking at the official, not happy for the no call there. Same with Lemieux. He's probably not happy that when he got injured for a bit, there was no call. Almost had a Rick, I need your help here. That infamous Edmonton Oilers game where the man came in and it hopped over his stick. I can't remember that player's name, but for hockey fans listening, I'm sure you've seen that highlight where the guy tried to waltz it in on goal and it bobbled over his stick, and then the Oilers went back the other way and scored. Robrick, that thing was hobbling on him, but obviously did a good enough job to direct it home.
Yeah, sometimes it happens.
Yeah. So the final seconds will tick away here in Sudbury. As Rick mentioned, the Wolves will see the Ottawa 67s for the first time Sunday afternoon. 2 o'clock start here. But unfortunately, the Wolves dropped this one to the Niagara IceDogs by a final score of 4-2. They outshoot Niagara 33-19, but Niagara just a bit more opportunistic on their chances here tonight. They win this one by a score of 4-2. Congrats to Hudson Martin scoring his first OHL goal. I would say that's one of the bright spots. I'd say that line of Jan Hovan, Adam Nemitz, and J.C. Lemieux certainly showed flashes at time, Rick.
Well, it's obvious that's the big line, and the thing is they showed some good chemistry here. Give them some time to develop, and like I said, the Wolves caught some breaks, had the lead, and again, it was Niagara's turn to get some of those breaks to tie things up and go ahead. So I thought the Wolves were going to be able to pull this out because Niagara's a beatable team. Yeah. Really. So it's unfortunate, but they'll try again come Sunday.
Also, Wolves fans, Hudson Chitteroni, he's been sidelined for a long time for the Wolves. I've heard some rumblings that he's getting close, and that would obviously be a huge benefit for the Wolves to get his services back into the lineup as well.
Well, he adds that spark to the lineup, and the Wolves need that right now. Like I said, I'd like to see some physicality. We saw a little bit tonight. Let's add more and maybe some punch with Chitteroni and a couple of others. Sometimes it can be contagious.
All right, IceDogs take it by a final score of 4-2. For David Bowen and Rick Wyman, we thank you as always for tuning in here on SudburyWolves.com. We're going to send it over to the BTB live stage to recap things here tonight.
Welcome back to the BTB live stage for the post-game report here live at the Sudbury Community Arena. 4-2 the final for the Niagara IceDogs, not the 5-4 final that Mason Savage was looking for.
It was shaping up. Goal in the first minute of the period.
It was shaping up. Some questionable officiating near the end there, give or take. I think, boys, this is just something we may have. It's growing pains. We're going to expect with this team now. It's a lot different. You can't rely on those two big guys to score for you every game now, right? That's just how it is.
I know. Niagara came out there in that third.
Bring that nice and tight there, Tom.
Sorry.
There you go.
Niagara came out there in that third, and they were just committed to their game plan, right? Just get as many shots as they could because they didn't have many of the first two periods. So clearly, probably the message.
They didn't finish with many either. 19.
I know. The message probably in that period was get maybe quality chances, and obviously one went through, and they trusted their D zone to hold the fort at the end after they got that 3-2 lead, and obviously they got an empty netter to make it 4-2. But I was really impressed with Niagara's trap towards the last 10 minutes, man. They were just holding a neutral zone, literally gave the Wolves nothing. All game they were phenomenal in the defensive zone and in the neutral zone. That if you win the three zones, you're going to win the game. So, yeah, like you mentioned, might be some growing pains for the Wolves. Didn't really generate too much. They had a lot of shots, but not really good quality ones, in my opinion. And the power play, a lot of good chances, but you just have to try to find a way to capitalize at the end of the day, and they didn't. So,
yeah, Mace, your thoughts? I thought the new guys looked good. Like a weird night here in Sudbury. It's like we have a new pack of Wolves to be cheering for. We've seen a generation come and go now. It's kind of like our first kind of go through with 4 or 5 years of following this team more in depth for a podcast at least.
Yeah.
And now we have a whole new wave of new guys to get excited about. Lemieux looked great.
Yeah.
Not great, but looked like
promising.
And a couple skill plays, and I liked everything we saw there, and Nemitz looked great too. And who knows what this team can do? If sneak into a playoff, like you said, or for next year.
And I think this is the thing. This is just what to expect. Like, this isn't a team that's going to go out and make a run for it this year, right? This is a team that we're looking at 2027, 2028, 2029, right? And I think there's a lot of pieces that are going to be really good for them come down the line, and to see them maybe grow and develop here is going to be nice.
Yeah, I agree, and
it's all positive here.
Yeah, we got draft picks.
Yeah, and another great positive story is you mentioned a few of the other new guys, but Ulsa was, what am I saying?
Eula.
There you
go. Tom.
That's like what, -2? I think?
3 letters, man. 3 letters.
They couldn't have got an easy name for me to pronounce, though. Like, seriously.
It is.
Can't be easier.
3 letters.
3 letters.
2 vowels.
Eula.
Yeah, you're right. Anyways, he was fantastic. He was fantastic, I thought. Aggressive. For a young guy, he's not afraid to throw his weight around. I was happy to see that.
I was a big fan of him.
Shot in the first period.
Yeah, he played heavy.
Drew a penalty at the middle part of the third period. I think Wolves fans are going to love a guy like that on the back end.
Now, your thoughts at the end, obviously, Niagara player crashing into the boards there, and I think just kind of lost an edge, but obviously there was a slasher that right before, but players right back on the power play. Barney was obviously not too happy about that, and I totally get it.
This is the tough one, and we're all coaches. We've all coached, not at this level, but we've all coached a team at some point. I think watching this game, and the Niagara bench was giving it to the rest pretty good.
Yeah.
I think the rest missed a few before then that were even more clear than this one. I'm not saying that's a makeup call for the ones they missed before, but at the end of the day, you almost have to call something in their favor. And unfortunately, it just didn't look like a penalty, but actually the replay showed it was. I think they just missed the ones before then that were actually penalties.
And the game's happening live, so I think, well, obviously the game's happening live, but with the ref, for the refs, right? It's happening. It's bang, bang, right?
Bang,
you see a guy go into the boards that hard, you're going to probably call a penalty if you see a guy around him, right?
Yeah.
So, but I do agree with Barney. There was a trip there right near the end. No call there. Shocking.
Got to call it both ways. I mean, the Wolves did have more power plays, had their chances.
5-on-3 got to score.
And like I mentioned, Niagara was begging for one. Yeah. And they were working their you-know-what off, man. They earned these 2 points, and
you'll give it to them.
The better team won tonight, really. So.
But it's tough. Like, you get 3 new guys. No one knows how to play with each other. Yeah. No one knows what the tendencies are. So give them a break. We got lots of hockey left.
Sunday,
right?
We're here.
Sunday, and it's
not here on the stage, but we're here.
Yeah, it's going to be fun to watch. A great team coming in here in the Ottawa 67s, of course. Brock Chitteroni on that squad too, so it's going to be a real fun watch on Sunday afternoon.
Cameron still BTB?
Hey,
Cameron still behind the bench?
Yes, he still is. Yeah, absolutely. Dave Cameron is still there. So a great squad there with the Ottawa 67s. Actually, Spadgrad guys, the new GM of the Ottawa 67s, Jan Egger, who played for Laurentian Soccer as well. So pretty cool connection there, and he's made some nice moves as his first time as GM. He was obviously the GM there for a while. But yeah, it's going to be fun to watch them on Sunday. And I'm telling you, this Wolves team is going to be fun to watch. They're going to put their best effort in. They were a hungry team today. It's the scoring. Scoring is going to be the hardest thing for the Wolves.
And before we end the stream, I'm seeing on the Jumbotron after the game Sunday afternoon, you got both World Junior players, Jan Hovan and Adam Nemec, going to skate with the kids after the game. So great opportunity if you're listening and you have young ones at the rink. Bring your skates, and a cool opportunity to skate with some both Slovakian World Junior players. So pretty cool moment. I did that back in the day as a kid.
No big deal.
I'm not sure which players it was, but I remember staying after.
I do recall too. It's the best.
It is the best, and you just bomb around with the players after, get their autographs. So pretty cool opportunity.
Yep. Well, with that, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it here from the BTB Live stage. Thanks for tuning in. You can find Behind the Bench podcast on all podcasting platforms. We're on YouTube as well, on the sort of local network as well. You can also find us on Instagram and X at BTB Podcast _. So if you want to learn anything about us and tune into what we're posting, we're doing all things Wolves, OHL, and a lot of Northern content as well. So we'll be back here next Friday during the intermissions with those great callers in Dave Bowen and Rick Wyman. So ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it here from the BTB Live stage. Wolves drop one 4-2 to the Niagara IceDogs. We'll see you next Friday. Wolves play this Sunday against the Ottawa 67.